This is a free game about shapes, so we know it's going to be a good one. To begin, we watch the circle close again and again while our score gets higher. We've also made progress to infinity 0.62% already. And if I'm understanding this correctly, every time the circle closes, it gets stronger. We can already afford the second upgrade because I've been watching it for so long. That gives us a second circle. We're already a dual circle action, but we're going to upgrade the red one as well. That should make it stronger. And by stronger, I mean faster. I clicked on it a few more times. Look at it go now. So we're doing 1.13 laps per second. Now we're doing 1.25 laps per second. And we're going to turn it up again, 1.4. This is exactly the kind of simple casual idle game that I'm going to get way too obsessed with, but way too much effort into. Now we're up to 1.63 laps per second. If we upgrade the orange, we're going to double its speed. So laps per second is 0.13. We touch the orange one again. We're now doing a lap every 5 seconds. So now it's paying for itself fairly frequently. We're going to buy that again. So now it's every 4 seconds it does a lap. So if every time the circle closes the value goes up, we should work on the quicker circle. Make the quicker circle even quicker so it boosts the value up extraordinarily fast. So now the red one's going crazy and our value every rotation is going up very quickly. At least as far as the red ones are concerned. Look at its value go. We're going to buy a few more levels of that just because it's fun to watch how quick it goes. We're getting very close to 1% of our way to infinity, so we've only got a little bit more to go. We made $1,300 already, so let's increase that. We unlocked a new color, but this one is now closing every 2 seconds. And buying this next one only costs 1,000 currently. Next upgrade is 1,280, but it's very slow. I think it's going to take 25 seconds to get all the way up for a rotation. But when it closes, do we get a large amount of points? I feel like we did there. The red one's currently closing 3.25 times per second. Now it's 3.75 times per second. That's a considerable upgrade. It would be nice to get to the orange to 1 per second as well, but it's going to be a few more upgrades for sure. It's going to get expensive. I looked away for a second, we made $7,000, so let's upgrade orange again. It's now nearly at 1 per second. So it looks like they can go up to level 100. This one is now at 1 per second, and this one's at almost 4 per second. We touch red one more time, 4 laps per second. This one's at 1 per second. Now we gotta work on this one, and it's gonna be so expensive to do. But we're making several hundred points per second at this point, and that's only gonna get bigger. One more of those. Now it only takes about 5 seconds for the yellow one to close, and we've unlocked the green one for 50,000. I still feel like upgrading to red is going to be the way to go for now. It's now at 5 revolutions per second, so that's going to make this number go up and this number go up. And at the very least, that makes me feel good. And I feel like we could build a strong foundation if we start with the littler ones. So we're also going to do the orange one. It would be nice to get it up to 2 per second, but that's definitely going to get expensive. These upgrades are already 6,000 each. So let's give our yellow friend a boost. We're going to spend 20,000 on that. Now it only takes, well, 2.5 seconds to close. It didn't take long to make 73,000, so we're going to start the green one going. It's going to take a long time to make a revolution, but it's got to start making them if we're ever going to hit infinity. Let's help our yellow friend out for a few more upgrades. Next one's $15,000, next one's 19, but we can already afford it. Now it only takes 2 seconds for even the yellow one to close. Then I think we'll spend another roughly 55,000 on the reds. That's going to take it from 5 per second to nearly 6. We made a very quick 175,000, so let's work on the oranges. Well, that's up to almost 2 times per second now as well. So these are really starting to move along. We're making thousands of dollars per second. I just spent 100,000 on yellow. We're about to spend another 100,000 on yellow, and that brings it up to 0.7 per second, 0.75. So it's almost up to 1 per second. And it is up to a 2.65 times multiplier for its base value. I'm not really sure what that is, but it seems to be making us lots of money. It's making us so much that we're going to upgrade it a few more times. It would be nice to get that one going ripping fast. So we just need ever bigger circles to go ever quicker because they build up their multipliers, and when they're this big, they're going to be worth a lot. So let's get our yellow one going. We have about $700,000 going. It's at just about 1 spin per second. It's actually annoying me how close it is, so we're going to push it over that for $300,000, but that's going to be worth it, because if it's spinning that quick, its multiplier is going to build up, and it's going to be worth a fortune. Same with the reds again, we're going to bring it up. It's already at a 41 times multiplier and growing, and that's going to certainly add up over the many hours. As it is, we're making well over $10,000 a second. We just hit $1 million and therefore got an achievement. We've unlocked the leaderboard, which I'm very sure to check very often. On a more interesting note, we're going to spend $1.3 million on the green laps, and it's going to now close every 4 seconds, which is actually huge. Its value right now might not be insane, but at the rate it's going to multiply itself, hopefully that adds up quickly. We made $5.3 million. Now I'm going to upgrade my orange because orange is starting to get up there in the multiplier and I needed to close more. It's got to be huge value. So it's closing almost 3 times per second as well. And that really helped our value because we're making almost $100,000 a second suddenly. Very quickly saved over $13 million at this point. So instead of unlocking the turquoise, we're going to upgrade our green a whole bunch. That brings it up to 0.5. So every 2 seconds it closes now. And that's okay because it really doesn't take long to make a single million anymore. So we're going to upgrade the red for that many millions. For a second there, the money was actually keeping up with how much the upgrades costed. This one's up to 1.2 million per buy anyway. But now we're making hundreds of thousands per second, so that feels a lot better. I'm really satisfied with how big these numbers get so quickly in this one. So we're going to work on yellows now. We're going to spend, I guess, $37 million upgrading yellow. It was at 1 revolution per second. It's now at 1.5 revolution per second. And that pushed our earnings up to about 500,000 per second. We very quickly made another 30 million, so let's finally unlock this for 10 million. The first upgrade is 13 million. The second upgrade is 18 million. It takes a long time to close, but I've got a long time on my hands. I'm not really sure which one of these is my biggest earner at this point, so we're going to spend $73 million upgrading orange. I feel like that's one of the bigger earners at the very least. That went from 2.7 per second to 3.5. With our leftover 23 million, we'll upgrade the reds to almost 10 times per second. Whatever we did, it seemed to have worked because we're making almost $2 million a second at this point, and that feels right. Our green circle is up to almost a 4 times multiplier, so we're going to reward it by giving it $175 million in upgrades. It was at 0.5, it's now at 0.8. Look at some of the shapes in the middle, they're almost a solid color now. Let's upgrade our reds for 70 million, that puts it over 10 per second, and we got another achievement, which is also gives me a slight multiplier. Plus we're already 2.6% of the way to infinity. And good news, I've turned on my auto clicker so that when I want to spend $225 million on upgrades, I just go like that, and we went from 10 to 11.25 every second. We've made nearly $1 billion, and I'm hoping there's some kind of achievement for that, because achievements give us multipliers. There wasn't, but on the bright side, we have $1 billion. Now we have 15% more than $1 billion. I'm going to spend that all on yellow. It's currently doing 1.54 laps per second. Now it's doing 2.13, which is a big increase. And you know what? Let's spend another 300 million on oranges as well. They're up to about 4 per second, so the money's going bananas. The best part is that when I come back, not only do I have a lot of money, but we're making more money than ever before. It's just an accelerating process. So let's spend $2 billion on the green ones. These upgrades cost $51 million as it is, so we're not going to get a great deal of difference, but we're over 1 per second. And individual upgrades cost $630 million at this point. $6 billion, so we're going to finally work on the turquoise. That's currently very, very slow, and it's much quicker now. So every 2.5 seconds, that will close, and that will make us a lot of money, especially once it starts to multiply better. It's already offering us a prestige, but the prestige can still go a lot higher if I'm seeing this, and we're making a lot of money, so we're going to let it roll for a while. We've jumped up to $12 billion. We're going to unlock this. This costs $10 billion for its first upgrade, and it goes very slowly. But it's going to be worth a lot, and over enough time, it's going to get a big multiplier. With the remaining $5 billion, let's spend it all on reds. It's at 11.25 per second. It's now max level at 12.5. But I think we can actually ascend that. Now it's going to be really expensive. And it's also very slow, but we can still buy the upgrades for that much. It would be nice to have it at least going 1 time per second. And our income still seems perfectly fine. We just got to be careful what we upgrade and where. Another $14.5 billion for us. Let's spend that all on orange to see if we can get it closer to level 100. It's now going 5 times a second. And you can really feel that in the earnings now. We're making like $100 million a second at least. Apparently I can spend minutes. I can time warp for 20 minutes if I want to, and that's just going to make things go by. But that did leave us with 3.4 trillion. So we're going to buy some light blue for that. And now we can buy this one, which is 100 trillion for its first one. So we're going to hold off on that a bit. It would be nice to get this one. Now this one, every 5 seconds, the light blue will go off. Also, let's work on our beloved red. This does cost billions of dollars, but when you have trillions, that doesn't feel so bad. It would be nice to get it closer to 3 times per second, but the money's starting to run down. There we go, 3 reds per second. And then the light blue one here, that's 1.86 per upgrade. Let's go ahead and upgrade that. We've over doubled its speed. Now we're making like $10-15 billion a second, so that feels right. So we're definitely long overdue for some of these older, like this yellow upgrade's going off 2 times per second. Now it's 3.2 per second. And we'll do the same with the green. It's going off 1 per second. It's now up to 1.5 per second. That's a massive increase. And the earnings speak for themselves. That's 20 billion a second. I have managed to save up another $2 trillion, not that it was that hard. So we're going to work our way up. We want our orange. There's only another 19 levels to go to get this maxed out. We may get there right now. I don't know if it's worth it to push that over. So while we're thinking about it, I'm going to spend $1.7 trillion on the reds. That added quite a bit. It went from 3 to 3.6. And this time flux stuff seems to build back up. So we're going to do another 20-minute time warp at 120 times speed. And that left us with 670 trillion plus our multipliers getting big. That means we can buy the first one of these, which is an achievement in itself, which is another multiplier. So from here, I think we're okay to upgrade the orange again, although that's over $1 trillion per buy, so that's really expensive. Although we're making $1 trillion per second, so that's not nearly as bad as it seems. I would like to get that up to 1. We're just going to close our eyes for the numbers. Same with the reds. Let's see if we can boost that up a little bit. It would be nice to get that to 5 per second. Still have $540 trillion left over. This one's only 70 billion per upgrade, so it's actually really cheap. We're going to upgrade that so it hurts a little bit. Be nice to get that 2.25 per second is fine. I am going to double the speed of the dark purple just because it doubles its speed. It was really expensive, but we need that multiplier to go up. Turquoise, I would like over 1 per second. This is going to get a little bit expensive, but we did get it well. It's 10% over that mark now. We'll do 1.2 per second. And then I'm very wisely going to spend $390 trillion upgrading yellow. We can get it closer to level 100. Oh, we did get it to level 100. We're up to almost $2 trillion a second right now, so that feels pretty good. So we're going to upgrade that $263 trillion. So we're going to leave that alone for a while because it's ridiculously expensive. We're going to do light blue. We're going to spend $320 trillion on that, but we've almost tripled its speed. Now I'm going to use another 19 minutes of my time flux to see what kind of value we get. We got another achievement, and that left us with $20 quadrillion. So we could definitely buy more of this, although that's going to start eating into profits quickly, but we unlocked the next one. This costs 1 quintillion, which is a colossally big number. So while I think about my next move, I'm going to start clicking on the red one while we keep an eye on our value, but this is up to 7 spins per second. That feels pretty good. We're also going to work on the orange. This is also getting expensive, but if we get up to 2 per second, good. Given all of our multipliers too, we're making, I think, $100 trillion per second roughly. So $24 trillion upgrade doesn't mean much. It takes a quarter of a second to make that much, so we can click on that for a little while. It does start to sting before too long, but you gotta suffer through a little pain sometimes. And I do want the blue one closing a lot, so we're gonna spend a whole bunch of money on that. At least it'll go off every 5 seconds. This one too will get it closer to 1 per second because over time that's really gonna add up. I can feel progress slowing a little bit now, so I think it's a really good time to prestige. We're gonna go and do that with a 51 times multiplier. So now every time the circle closes, we're getting 50 something dollars. Correction, we are getting $70 currently, and that number's going up quickly. So this will be fun. We'll make it back to where we were in no time at all. We're gonna pay for tons of upgrades. I think we can choose how many we can buy at a time with that button. But you know what? I brought my auto clicker, so it's all good. Jumping back to about where we were with the help of a little bit of time flux, we're currently making many quadrillions of dollars per second. And all of the upgrades have been moved into the quadrillions of dollars zone, and my multiplier is getting big quick. I've even bought 1 level of this that cost me $1 quintillion. Which sounds like a lot, but if we use another 20 minutes of time warp, we're up to 950 quintillion, so we can buy more levels of this pretty easily, and that's going to increase our income a lot. I want this to go off. It's now once every 5 seconds, and this next one costs us septillion for pink. That's a lot of money, but we're also getting 220 quadrillion per revolution, and that number is going up continually as well. If my tired math brain is working, I think upgrading this one would be the most worthwhile, but we can't really afford that, so we're going to do blues. I'm going to spend $870 quintillion upgrading this. That went from 0.4 to 0.7 per second. And then I'll just work my way up, probably in reverse order, auto-clicking my way to the top. We're going to put that over the top and keep on going. I don't like that anything is sitting less than 1 revolution per second right now, especially this high up, so we're going to work on upgrading that. I decided a little time warp made more sense than anything, so up to 280 sextillion, which is about a quarter of a septillion that we still need. But I mostly just wanted to upgrade this one above 1 per second. So let's go to 1.2 per second and spend the rest of the money somewhere here or here or here or there. So the prestige multiplier is up to 450 times, but this is a good time to have an IRL warp. I'm going to go sleep for 12 hours and I'll come back and we'll see what kind of madness has happened. Many hours later, we have a modest $355 decillion. But also when we want a prestige, we'll go from a 51 times multiplier to a 20,000 times multiplier. But for now, we're going to click on a whole bunch of things because these numbers are going to get bigger. It goes septillion, octillion, then I believe it's decillion after that. So we need one for the number here. We can afford more than a few of those. So let's also push this one into its next mode. Those cost sextillions of dollars, which is only a fraction of what we have now. So let's make this number hurt. And I was wrong earlier, there's no nillion before decillion. So this is a really big number. So I'm going to push all of these up until they're in about 1 decillion for an upgrade to see if our earnings go up. So I've upgraded my way down. The last one I need to do is the white one itself. We're going to spend $242 decillion upgrading that, and it's still only going to go once every 7 seconds. But now we're going to make a decillion every few seconds as it is. So let's give a 20-minute time warp and see what kind of money we have. That gave me 7 undecillion, which is a bigger number again by quite a lot. And the multiplier went up by 50%. It's now at about a 30,000 times multiplier. I want to get this one going because this one's obviously going to be a very big one for us. Now, while this is a really big number and seems like a lot of money, we can only get so many levels of something. There we couldn't even get up to 120 for the reds, and that's the most basic of upgrades. So let's put these earnings and time flux through, say, 180 minutes. That should be some colossal earnings. We're going at 1080 speed, which left me with, I think, trade decillions, if I remember that correctly. The multipliers at 200,000 times. And that's really mostly what I was looking at. We're going to upgrade that. Even with all that money, this thing still only goes at 0.66 per second. But I think it's time we take advantage of this minor multiplier. We're going to go from 51 to 200,000. Plus, we got a bunch of achievements for doing that, so that means we get an even bigger multiplier again. So we are currently getting 2 million per revolution. We're supposed to be getting like 1. So we'll go ahead and make sure that's closing quicker. You know what? We're going to use the auto clicker to begin with. We got that to level 85 already. But we're now into hundreds of millions of dollars. And this is a number that's going to go up rapidly. It feels like I'm not doing this right anymore. But that's kind of the point. So we'll go back and upgrade, work our way down. So this is basically happening in real time, but we're in the billions of dollars already. I took another impromptu little break and we have $72 million. So that's going to help us increase our earnings. We'll spend all of this on the pink right now, and that's going every 0.6 seconds. Then I'm going to spend the remainder of my money working upwards, and then the circles are going to close faster and faster. The reds are up to a 6,500 times multiplier, and we can still make them higher. Things are getting expensive again, so it's time for a time warp. I decided I might as well burn through an hour, and that gave us 6 duodecillion, which is definitely enough to start buying this one. And that's really going to be the hard one to make go. It currently has a 1.05 times multiplier. As long as they're all closing over 1 time per second, then we're in good standing as long as we use a time warp. Some of these have hit max level, but we're going to do a time warp here for only 20 minutes at max level. That way they can get lots of rotations and multipliers in. So now our whites are doing 7.5 times multiplier, and we're at 30 trade decillion, which means I could probably upgrade this one a whole bunch more. So I'm going to repeat that process. I've upgraded everything as much as I could. Another 20 minutes, we'll upgrade again, go through another 20 minutes. My prestige multiplier is all the way up to 1.4 million, which sounds like a lot, but we already have a 200,000, so it would be many times what we have, but not as crazy as it sounds. So I'm going to burn through 180 minutes. We're just going to burn a full 3 hours here at 1080 times speed. That's going to give us some profit. Now we have 11 SPDC, which is septillion decillion or something silly like that. We're just going to click on a whole bunch of this. And now it's at max level, so it's spinning at 1.31 times per second. And now they're all maxed out in their current level. Our overall multiplier is 198,000 times, which simply matches my multiplier here. So now that everything's at max level currently, we're going to do 60 minutes and see what that gives us. 152. The multipliers are getting bigger, and we're at a 12 million times multiplier here. It's still only 18% of the way to infinity, not even 1/5 of the way there yet. So since we're obviously spinning very quickly, let's do a 600 minute multiplier. That's 10 full hours, which is most of my flux at this point. We're going at 3600 times speed. This is so much faster than actually waiting 10 hours. Whoops, I think I might have clicked that just shy of where we needed to go, but I just wanted to see my multiplier at 75 million. And we're up to a 776 times multiplier for even the most expensive one. So the numbers are getting very big. I'm going to increase this one's multiplier and buy a whole bunch of it with my money, and can't even buy that much. It's still only going once every half a second at this point. I'm hoping another 2 hours will get us a good, well, we got an achievement, so that's something. I accidentally auto-clicked on the prestige button, so it clicked 5 times right away. The important thing is we have about 100 million times multiplier. So by the time I was even done saying that statement, we've got $120 billion. So the auto clicker is going to be pretty busy for a minute. We're just going to max out everything so the big multipliers start right away. So now we're into the hundreds of billions, really trillions if we weren't spending the money at light speed. So I'm just going to work my way down right now, trying to get things to max level, and so far we're getting away with it. We're already up to the sextillions of dollars. I had some leftover points, so I bought some more time flux. Now we've got, I think, 24 hours of it. So if I want, I can spend, say, 60 minutes doing a time warp. I don't even have to spend anywhere near that. I can spend, say, 20 minutes, and we're going to have big numbers. So I'm just maxing out my upgrades and warping through time once again just to get those multipliers getting bigger. And I'm leaving everything at max level, that way they're spinning as fast as possible right now. If I do push them over, they will get a bigger multiplier up here, but for now, time is my friend. Well, since everything is maxed out and we have a ludicrous amount of money, let's go ahead and warp through 20 hours of time, which would be 1200 minutes. So we're going through the game at 7200 times speed, but we're going to be earning some money, and those multipliers are going to be getting pretty big. At least I suspect they are. 16 ODC, I think that's octodecillion. It's a very big number. There's a lot of zeros slapped on that bad boy. The multipliers are back up to about 1,000. The reds are up to about 14,000. This one we can push probably all the way up now. We can just click and click and click. These are really expensive, but now it's maxed out. And we're still less than 20% of the way to infinity, because infinity is really big. So we'll have to sit here and let this run for the next 4 years and see what kind of bigger number we can make. We're about to mine our way all the way down into the planet's very core. More specifically, we're going to make him do it. We click, he touches the ground with his pickaxe. We click enough times, the pickaxe will touch the ground more times and bust through a layer. As we do that, we earn money. We use the money to upgrade our damage so we can bust down ever quicker. $30, we can add more damage, down we go. We're busting through these layers very, very quickly, so it's no problem yet. And we can hire helpers and make them do all the work. We're not really hiring them, we're more like buying them. 50 gold for 9 DPS? Yes. So apparently we can place characters in different areas too, and they're going to do more damage. Since our friend is going to be doing most of the work, we're going to let them have the bonus. But this seems to be working well. I don't know what that thing is. Okay, we touch it and it explodes and we get its body parts. We're going to get more DPS for our hardworking friend, and when they level up, they'll get a lot more damage as well. But enough about our indentured servant, let's get back to clicking for ourselves and upgrading the damage, because we can really make our way down there. We're already 108 kilometers. And then we find an obsidian layer that we bust right through. Okay, we've got $725 and a pending fossil. Before dealing with that, I'm about to spend $800 on damage. We're at 60 currently, and this is going to keep going up. All the way up to 642, so we have 10 times the damage we just did, thanks to a small investment. There is an auto-click fury that only costs $100. That's perfectly fine. Our auto-clicker is probably better. That thing at the top said for massive damage, do X amount of damage, so we just need to do a lot of damage to do even more damage. And we're completing tasks over here, and that's going to get us things we can purchase in the prologue shop. Things like Legendary Lancer that increases all helper damage by 25%. And we can find rare armor and pickaxes. But I'm already getting bored with all the learning. I just want to click and dig. That's all I'm here for. We hit another obsidian layer. This one obviously has more HP, but we bust through it without too much issue. We have $2,500, so let's upgrade our damage all the way up to 1141. We also get achievements, so when I click 500 times in total, we get 1%. Next level is 2%, we need to click 2,500 times. So it truly is, the more we click, the more damage we get. I can also buy Smush for $500. Probably should have bought them a while ago. It's only $5,000 for the next helper as well. I'm going to put Smush back there. This thing is going over here, and they're going to work together for a while. There's our $5,000, so we're going to get Gilbert. Gilbert has 900 DPS, so Gilbert is going to take over on the big bonus spot, and then him and I are going to do most of the work. We could increase other people's damage, but it's really expensive to do, and I'd rather just work on my own. Each one of those is almost 200 bonus. I can also buy money for nothing, increase coins earned by 100% for 60 seconds, so you know, we're just going to go ahead and do that, and then we're just going to rapid click for 60 seconds. Because like any good capitalist, you just can never have too much money. I'm also going to move myself onto that spot and then keep digging. We've also earned coin value up by 2% and reduce all dirt layer by 0.2% HP. All damage is up by another 2% because we're dealing a lot of damage. We've made it down 615 kilometers so far. I like how on the left it shows the DPS and click damage and how much they're doing. The fish is doing 87% of our DPS, at least for our helpers. My money bonus has worn off, so we're just going to go ahead and collect some things and get right back to clicking. Maybe to buy Captain Ironbeard as well. Okay, they're going to take too long because we need another $10,000. Instead, we're going to upgrade our damage from 1,600 to 8,000. You know, let's do that one more time. We're at 9,000 damage, so now we're going to make our way down quicker. If we spend 50 of our diamonds right away, we can get click damage up by 100%. Absolutely. It'll take 50 minutes, but what else am I going to do with my time? I'm really glad there's no durability on our pickaxes. I'm swinging this thing so fast it would absolutely melt. Since I'm doing more DPS, I moved myself into the big earnings spot, so we're going to sit here and enjoy our big earnings. This obsidian layer had well over 300,000 HP though, so these are going to start to get really tough. But nothing's as tough as I am willing to waste my time. I've moved my additional helpers to the outside of the square where I'm less likely to accidentally interact with them. I don't want them to have any attention at all. A neglected servant is a happy servant. We earned 100,000 coins, so our earnings went up again by 2%, which isn't a great amount, but over the next 85 hours, it's certainly gonna add up. Guess who got $50,000? One Captain Ironbeard coming our way. 10,000 DPS, so the fish is gonna go up here into the dunce corner and you're gonna mine. He's got a very interesting one-handed technique, but I'm not gonna question it because he's getting results. We can use our special power again, 15 seconds of rapid fire clicking. I think I can also add to this as well, so we just do tons of damage. There's another 2% click damage as well. Considerable Carl's gonna cost $500,000, so we've got a little ways to go. We've also been offered the option to do a big bang, but no, your mom isn't involved. This is basically a prestige that would have us start over with 2.35 times damage so far. We're not going to do that yet, we're going to push a little bit further. Mostly because I have a really good auto clicker and it's been a long time since I abused the game. And I believe all of our extra prestige bonus comes from getting fossils. We get fossils at the end of each layer in the obsidian. I'm not actually really sure how I know that. I haven't been paying a lot of attention so far. I've just been digging. So let's see how long it takes us to chew through this obsidian with 2.5 million HP. This will be a good statement of whether or not we need the prestige. Because with an auto clicker we're getting through it, but not that quickly. We did get a bunch of fossils though, and to be fair, I can upgrade my own damage. I'm just not because I'm stupid. We can't get 10 levels of it, but we can buy the next. Which actually has me wondering, if we hit level 50, do we get a bonus? So we're at 16,000 now, 18,000, 20,000, level 50, 23,000. No bonus. We can get a double money bonus though and use the auto clicker again to make big money. 25,000 damage at this rate still isn't really good enough. But our money bonus has ended and left us with $41,000. As far as I can tell, we really need to make it to these red stars to get a big bonus and things. I mean, probably. I'm gonna waste a lot of time getting there, but we're gonna do it. Maybe I should upgrade my friends too. 93 DPS, only $400 to get them to 206. Then something called Dodgy. I guess that gave them a bit of a boost. Not entirely sure how that works. That's fine. We'll just, oh, it gives them special skills, I presume. So we'll get our first friend up to Crafty Clicker. So the first one helped their damage by 25%, the second 50%. This one increased click damage by 25%. That's actually huge. Now we went from 25 to 32,000 damage. See, it pays to click on things. Another obsidian layer busted. I do feel like it's going to be a while before we get ourselves to the next level. We could buy one upgrade there and pretty soon one more upgrade again. That'll bring us into the neighborhood of 40,000 damage. Another upgrade later, we're up to $44,000. Progress is slowed down to the point where it's time for a big bang. But that's going to be perfectly fine because our research is almost complete too, and that's going to give us a further 100% click damage bonus. I can also hire a benefactor, basically with my fossils that I just sacrificed in the Big Bang, so we're going to get twitchy, click damage 10%. Then I'm going to save the rest of my fossils for now, and we're just going to keep digging down. I like games that include the max buy button, because I can just keep doing that again and again and again, and we'll just jet right through the progress. I also unlocked hold to click, which is this fast. It's not bad, but it's not my auto clicker. And if something's not on the verge of breaking, I don't want it. So we're gonna add another 1500 damage. We're back up to 2300 damage already, and we're gonna get down quick. My research is done, but now I can already afford the next level, which will give me a 300% click damage. So we're absolutely going to do that. That's only gonna take 20 minutes. I found a key that we're gonna use to open a treasure chest down here. Out of that, we got carbon and a stapler, which are crafting materials. Not entirely sure what those are for yet, but I don't really care right now. Then we're going to jump ourselves all the way up to level 50. That's going to add 43,000 damage. We're at 76,000 damage now. I can also unlock increased click damage by 1,000% for 30 seconds. We're going to do that and the money thing together. That way we're just going to bust down really quick and get a bunch of money. The bonuses have ended. We have $165,000. I also have a treasure chest I can open. I got more crafting items, but I'm not here to build stuff. I'm here to dig. Never mind, I can actually make a lucky coin. Increase coins earned by 10%. Yes, go ahead and do that. Now I need to buy my friends level up again, because I'm currently at 80,000 damage, and I think that's going to give me a lot more, up to 100,000 damage. So let's assume that Smoosh works the same way. Goopy, this is going to cost a little bit for sure, but that's going to give them extra damage. I need 144,000 to get what might be more click damage. Oh, it actually tells me. That would increase click damage by 50% if I can make it there. I've unlocked a new shop, but just like in real life, I can't actually afford anything, so I'm just gonna sit here and admire it for a minute before getting back to work. Okay, so current damage is 100,000 after buying the next level for Smosh, which we're gonna afford in just a moment. That's gonna put our damage up to 144,000, 150,000. Where did the thing go that was gonna increase my damage? It says critical damage now by 50%, which is still a lot. We're doing big crits, but I thought that was just going to increase all damage. I don't really know, so we'll just buy a single level of damage anyway that still added 12,000 damage per pick swing. And pretty soon this will pop and give me an extra 200% damage on my base, so we're in good hands. Such good hands in fact that I'm going to sit here and let this run for the next 12 hours. Much time later, I have $1.7 million to my name. I actually thought it would be higher. And our damage is currently 372,000 per click, but if I spend all of my money, we can add about 3.7 million to that to put us up to 4 million. Which curiously isn't actually that much considering the ground we're mining has about 800 million. Even with an auto clicker, it's gonna take a sec. The red layer is a little bit easier to mine through, so we'll get through there quicker. I also got rewarded with a geode that's rewarded us with 20 diamonds, which gave us just enough to read this and increase our damage from 300% to 650. I'm a simple man. I see damage, I take it. This material had over 1 billion HP, and we're only 2,800 kilometers down through the earth. We're getting through those layers, but we still have a ways to go. This layer has 5 billion, so things are rather slow. I have saved up 80 of the green gems, which means we can increase our coin earnings or even our damage per active fossil level, which we're gonna do. Also, fossils earned as well, because fossils add up to lots of extra damage. And at least now we're at 4.6 million. Which also means it's time for another big bang, but that means our damage multiplier after that is going to be 14 times. So our base damage is 800, and we're still going to get another multiplier once our research gets done in 20 minutes. For now, we're just going to auto-click, max buy, auto-click, max buy, auto-click, max buy, until something breaks. It's been literally 60 seconds and we're already up over 100,000 damage again. Now that we're saving up some money, we gotta unlock our idiot helpers again so they can give us proper boosts. Because we clicked over 250,000 times overnight, we went well past our red stars, so our click damage here is also an extra 67%. Damage is also getting up there too. We're currently at 300,000 damage, now we're at 2 million, 1.6. I've also just unlocked 1,000% damage for 30 seconds, so we're gonna go ahead and take advantage of that. 20 million damage. Actually 30 million damage, not entirely sure what's happening, but I'll take it. Well, I guess 3.5 million base damage is pretty good. Even spending just 63,000 can add 2.5 to that, so 6 million base damage. Because we got 115 of the green gems again, we're going to increase damage per active fossil again for another 1%. That actually pushes us all the way up to 6.8 million, and we already have another 83 potential fossils plus those coming in. Another $100,000 investment means another 3.5 million damage, or up to 10 million base damage. So now a billion damage is only 100 clicks, and we do that rather quickly. I'm also going to increase coins earned by 5% thanks to spending more of these gems, and we're going to increase those earned with diamonds. For a small investment of $274,000, I can essentially double my damage to just under 20 million per click. I got my 1000% bonus, so for a little while we're doing 213 million per click. 5 clicks is 1 billion damage. So our extra damage here just landed, thanks to the countdown, so we're up to 36 million base damage, and I can still upgrade my damage here, so now we're up to 55 million. We were just at 19. But things are still a little bit slow because we're getting deep, especially on the obsidian. But we just got a bunch more emeralds so we can increase our earnings. And if we prestige now, we can actually double our damage again. So our base damage now is 3,400. We're going up and up and up. I'm going to increase my earnings again because these upgrades are getting expensive, so the more gold we earn, the better we're going to do. Making my way down, I'm already up to 20 million damage, and we can still afford a lot more upgrades. I forgot I also had benefactors, so I could be spending a whole bunch of these to increase click damage with Twitchy here, so we're just going to keep going with that as many times as we can. Whatever that did would put me up to 25 million damage. Now we can also find a pig, we can buy that, and now that we have the pig, we're going to increase our coins earned by a lot. We did reduce our damage a little bit in doing that, but we're going to put that right back on. Progress is slowing down again, but upgrades are speeding up. Triggering another big bang, we got rather a special setup, and our base damage is 4,400. And this one's going to get big. Because we can also increase damage per active fossil by another 1%, we have a lot of fossils. Plus there's the prologue shop that I haven't even touched yet. Every time we spend these gems, increase all damage by 10%, so we buy the cheapest of those upgrades, there's an extra 20% for doing nothing. I've activated a few bonuses for now, so we're getting extra earnings, and we're also doing 628 million damage per click. I've also upgraded Gilbert a great deal at great expense, but now that's helping us earn an extra 25% money, so every time we break a layer, it's $5,000. And then if I invest 320,000 into my own character, I get an extra 61.6 million damage. So now we're swinging for 120 million. And then for a small investment of 800,000, we can add 130 million damage, which puts us up to 250 million damage per swing. I've also bought a fat, one-eyed bird who seems to be mining quite quickly himself. So we're currently doing 430 million damage, but if I buy this and one of these, our damage jumps up to a modest 640 million. Then if I click both of these, we're doing 7 billion per swing, and we're making a lot of money doing it. The bonus is worn off, so we're back to 640 million damage, but if I click on this, our base damage goes up to 1 billion. We hit the 1 billion mark, which is a cool milestone, but if I sacrifice 50 of my gems, I can also double the amount of fossils, so we can get 134 times damage multiplier. So our base damage now is 18,200. But I think now that we've hit $1 billion per swing, we're going to leave it there and let him mine for eternity. I've never had such an addicting square in all my life. The first thing we need is an output. That's where all of our coins are going to go. Next, we need the factory that will produce the coins, and we drag in between them, and now the coins are going to be produced and drop into the hole, making us money. We can spend that money on more factories to produce even more. Now they round up to 2, and we can zoom in. It's going to be a very mathematical day. So that cost $16 that time. This one's going to cost 32, but the coins are going to combine into 4 by the time they drop into the hole. I can also just straight up upgrade them as well, $25, and that's going to be producing even more. It now produces us $2, next time is $3, and then production multiplies. And it's cheaper to do this than buy the $64 next one of these, so we'll do that. Now production is up to 8. And it's going to be fun to see the size of numbers we can make. Central produces the sum of the production of every touching factory in non-diagonal tiles. So if I'm understanding that, I could put that there, and we could bring it there, and then in like that. So yeah, it's getting 2 and 2, so it's producing 4. So you want to surround that with the good stuff. There's going to be a lot of math and thinking involved today. Alright, well we quickly made $424, so upgrade that one and that one. Now this is producing 6. And if we upgrade this, it will not only touch the horizontal touchers, but the diagonal ones as well. So this could be a big earner. I'm not sure I can move the output, but I kind of regret not putting it over here now, so we got more room to make multipliers. For now, this gets a $75 upgrade, that gets a $75 upgrade, and we'll go ahead and slap that there. That goes up to 75. So now we're getting 20 per coin, 21 per coin. So at this point, I think it's worth it to upgrade that for $400 and this one for $400. These are producing 6 by themselves, so these are producing 12. So now by the time the coins make it all the way in, they're up to 33, and we still got lots more we can do. So if I want to make a better version of that, I would need to place it, say, here, and then surround it on all sides with tiles as much as I can. They can still have an outlet. So we'll try and figure out how we can make that work. We can't really use jumpers or whatever here. This is producing but into nowhere essentially. So we'd actually have to move these around or put it that way so that they go into there. Well, the coins over here are essentially going nowhere so far, but we got so many lanes over there that it's hard to justify like adding more. But that's probably exactly what we're going to have to do. We'll go up here and then in. But we're going to upgrade this, so it's going to go from tiles from all directions, so that can go that way. And then we're going to put one here that's going to go that way. And you know what? We might just put one more of those here, and then we can use a jumper to jump over. I don't know if that makes sense, but $25 there, $25 there, 25, 25, 25. Now we could do 75 because we're getting pretty rich from all this, and that's going to make our blue one produce 12 already. While we're at it, we're going to do $400 upgrades for these, as many as we can afford, and that's going to give us even bigger value now. That produces 36, 69 by the time they make it in. That was only for a single tile. They jumped up to 81 after that. So I put a jumper there. This is going to output that way. That way it can jump over just like that. So now this can get upgraded a whole bunch of times. Now this thing will produce 42. I think the accelerator is going to be a big one for 3000. Adds $1 production every 5 cycles to the facing factory central. I think that means like if I put it here, it's going to add value to this. Just the longer it goes for, the more it's going to add. And if we put a $1,500 thing on there, it's going to increase to $5. And that's going to have a multiplier effect on it. So it's 24 by itself. And that's going to play off of this one as well. This one's also interesting. Park. Every touching factory from all directions gains 30% production. Given it's only $300, there's a few spots we should easily put these. Even if it's just like right here for now, we can even just put one of these in here that dumps into here for a sec, because that's just easy, quick value. But given that that's 30%, we probably want a better home for that. Like, we should actually take this one away and take that one away and rebuy it and put it over here, because it needs to be touching bigger things. 30% on some of these is going to get big. For now, I'm going to add another park here for 600. That's going to boost this one up to 123. The next upgrade for this is going to cost 20,000, so that would take it from $5 to $10. Instead of that, we're going to spend $1,500 on a few of the cheaper ones, at least to get their value up a bit, which is going to help this one still go up. But actually, instead of this, for $15, we should really just put one of these for 30%. That should have a bigger effect. Actually, it didn't. Maybe my math there is wrong, or I'm misunderstanding how this one works. But that one's producing 356 now, plus I can upgrade it for 5 grand. That should double it, so it's now 560 per token. So I'm curious again, if I take that one away, it was 28.5 and put the park there. That's somehow not worth it. I don't know where that 30% adds to, but it's on more of a base statistic. So we're going to put that one back on and then re-upgrade it again. I also need to increase the base production of this. It's a 183. If I do that, it jumps to 344. So now this one's producing ones over 1,000 for purple tokens. And I really should be using an accelerator more, because it's going to add one value to something near it forever and ever and ever. So we'll put one here, and that's going to point downwards, and that's going to point to that. So this one's going to endlessly get upgrades. We'll give it a bit of a head start. We'll give it up to a $1,500 upgrade. It's already putting 24 out, and that's only going to get bigger and stronger from the accelerator behind it. Maybe I should actually put a second accelerator on that for a little while. Does that only work with one? That should work with both of those. While I'm at it, I should add a park over here too, because that's going to add 30% value to that. So that's just going to be a big helpful number for us. We already made $140,000 without really trying. So I'm also going to upgrade this for 80,000. That's going to add one production every 3 cycles instead. So that thing's going to get big fast. I'm probably going to do the same over here, because this thing can just get really stupidly big. The tokens are still hitting 2,000 right out of this as they go in, so that's super easy money for us. I'm going to upgrade the value of this one as well, 20,000. Yeah, if I was smart, I would have put the whole like up here and put like a single track running somewhere like that. That way I could just build giant multipliers up to it. I forgot about my original ones too, so we're going to upgrade those up to the $1,500 level. And that's going to make this one a little bit happier. That one's kind of a useless one here for now. It's adding a little value, but not much. But the tokens are combining for 3,000 in the center now, so we're up to about 2,500 per second. Yeah, I sort of like what's going on here. I maybe could have built that one more over, but we can sort of build the same thing again, because I could put 3 accelerators and an overclocker. Every 5 cycles make the targeted run 3 cycles at once. Okay, so you'll go down into that. And then we're going to put an accelerator right there and an accelerator right there. And that's going to feed this one a lot. Plus, we could put some jumpers around it. And an investor adds $1 production to every factory central every 5 cycles. So we could just let that run for a long time and it would break eventually. But I'm also going to spend $80,000 upgrading the accelerator and $80,000 upgrading the other accelerator, because this one's already up to 14 whatever value. And if we give it some upgrades there, it's now up to 125. This one over here also needs that. So this one's producing 790 at a base value already. But this is where the central would be better, because the central can absorb everything around it and multiply. Like for 60,000, we can upgrade it. So it's now went from 2,100 to 4,300. But now by the time the tokens hit the center, they're 7,000 each. So while all that's happening, I'm actually going to undo the entire factory over here and try and think about a better way to do this. Well, I guess I could put a central here, because that's going to feed off this one, which I accidentally just upgraded. So it's giving 1,000 already, because it can just deposit straight there. That actually added a lot of earnings to us. We're up to about 10,000 per second. While I'm at it, I should probably just put a park over here and over here. So that one jumped up to 1,800. So yeah, the earnings just went up again. We just saw a flash of 15,000. So in a perfect world, we'd have maybe 2 things here. We got to find a way to get those in. What we can potentially do is take the long way. I don't know if this is going to make sense, but we're going to try and make it make sense. So they're going to go that way. This is going to get deleted in a sec, because I need an overclocker touching this one and whatever else I can to add value to that as well. $80,000 should upgrade that. The beauty of this game is it's just going to work. Like, no matter what we do, we're adding value anyway. I'm just going to go 3 accelerators on this one, or maybe that's only 2 accelerators ultimately, but that's okay, because that one's getting 3 times these guys, which are going to go up in value to $20,000 level. This one, the combiner is also going to go up to the $60,000 level. It's outputting 13,000 at this point, which is actually our strongest thing, and that only took me a second to build. And then our accelerators are also going to get upgraded. That way this one gets upgraded a lot. We'll spend $400,000 on that. That's going to be worth it because that thing's going to go bananas after a while. We'll put a park beside it as well to increase its value. So up to about $30,000 a second. So we'll let this run for a minute while I ponder how to do this even better. Well, I did just hit $1 million, so I might as well put the investor down. And that's simply just going to add value. So the investor adds $1 every 5 cycles, whereas the overclocker can make the cycles happen faster. I gotta click around every once in a while to see what I can easily afford to upgrade. Some of my parks are getting pretty big value, so I might be wise to upgrade some of them. So it would increase 20% production. It is 2.5 million. But it would feed that one quite a lot. Well, we'll do the $200,000 upgrades for these ones. That way it'll increase the value of these guys a lot. That's a $12 million upgrade, so we're not going to do that. 200,000 upgrades are easy now. Even the $400,000 upgrades for some of these base ones seems like a really easy choice to me. So up to almost 80,000 per second, maybe even 100,000. I'm just going to add another contributor thing here. And then we're going to maybe just put an overclocker on that like that. And then that's going to increase in value thanks to that thing. So we'll increase the value to $400,000 level and let it go. Yeah, we made $11 million. That means I can upgrade this thing, so multiplies total production by 10. This thing's gonna go crazy. That was already producing a lot, now it's up to 180,000, so our earnings are about $250,000 per second. Every 4 seconds we get a cool million. I'm also gonna add another investor. Actually, we're gonna add 2 investors because those are just gonna add value every cycle. And our original investor is getting a $5 million investment itself, so every 3 cycles it adds $2. Eventually, when these values do get big enough, because they're sort of trickling upwards one at a time, we could delete everything around it and slap a bunch of parks, and that's going to add 30%, 30%, 30%, 30% to what's already like trillions. Okay, another investor is getting a $5 million upgrade, and so is our third one. While we're at it, we can actually put a jumper tile here, facing downwards, and then we can delete this one, and put another investor there. They're getting expensive. This one's $8 million. But we can afford that, and then we can even upgrade it. We want this one. Adds 1% production to every factory every 1 cycle. So if the numbers are already big, that's just going to grow exponentially on itself. So I'm not really sure what happened down here, but we can go ahead and delete that now. We can put something in here. Like maybe an investor. We can't quite upgrade it yet, but we're up to $500,000 per second. So yeah, now we can afford it. And that's a good point. We really should put investors everywhere we can, and we can jump tiles everywhere. So we could put another investor down in here. As soon as we can afford it, it's 32 million at this point. But they add that long-term value that we all need. And they're going to be adding tons of value soon enough. And I freed up a few spaces using the jumpers. We basically have very few conveyors anymore, except for where I did stupid things earlier. And $5 million for my new investors. I think that's got them all covered. I think at this point, I'm also maybe going to take away this thing to add an overclocker to this guy. Because if we upgrade it for 12 million, that means every 5 cycles makes a targeted tile run 10 cycles at once. So that'll give us a boost to income, but also increase its own value. I know it works off of the value of those around it, but its own value too can also go up, I believe. But since we have so much money, we're getting a $12 million upgrade for that one, and that one, and that one as well. That way this thing can also go up stupidly big. I guess the parks for 2.5 million, even 7.5 million might as well be done, because that's going to increase the value. That's up to 50,000 by itself. So the blue tile over here now is now producing 1 million. Wow, that jumped up to 12 million because that one went off 10 times. This one down here also needs to go up. That jumped up to 500,000 by itself, and some of the ones around it are also probably going to get a nice boost. The parks are going up to 7.5 million, so this one jumped up to 700,000 also. So it's actually not that far behind that one. But we're averaging like 2 million per second. We occasionally jump up to 14. I guess in a spot like right here, we could probably just put a park because that's really going to increase the value of those two, and therefore this one, which is up to 800,000. Now that we're up to almost 400 million, we're going to upgrade our investor, our most valuable unit. So that's going to take it from $2 every 3 cycles to $3 every 2 cycles. The next upgrades are going to get expensive, but we're also just going to upgrade every one of these we can for hundreds of millions of dollars. So we're looking at more like $3 million per second, occasionally 20 million. Investors cost $64 million each, so we'll still go ahead and buy a few because that's not that much money to us. I think at this point I'm actually going to remove a park because parks are good for an instant boost, but we need more investment. This one's at 45,000, but I'm going to put the overclocker here, and that's going to help feed this one big value, and the overclocker is going to make sure every 5 cycles it's going to run 10 cycles at once, which is going to increase its own value. So this one's up to 500,000. That put this up to 5.9 million. So we should probably do the same, $200 million to upgrade our most valuable ones. That jumped up to 10 million. So $200 million investments all around. So this one now does 17 million and occasionally it'll go off 10 times. So our earnings are 30 million base. So we're coming up on $1 billion pretty routinely shortly here. That'll feel good. Well, we usually made $2 billion. The investor's next upgrade is 300 billion, but that's the real big upgrade. I also sort of forgot that these guys could be upgraded for only 1.6 billion. Sums the production of all factory tiles, multiplies production by 15. So it's currently producing 50.8 million. After that, it jumps up to 162 million. So they're both at 163 million. I think because they're taking all the factories now. I'm also going to give a $20 billion upgrade to this one because it's 2.5 million. That put it up to 5 million. So that made both of those a lot bigger as well. So we'll do the same thing to all its runs. At least the ones we can afford right now. But that jumped up to $3.2 billion per second. But we're generally at about 600 million. So 2 seconds is enough to make well over $1 billion. And that means we can get the next upgrades fairly quickly. So our income is only going to go up and up and up. So also in the case of this one that is at 5.4 million, we don't really need $1 every cycle because that's not really going to add much to it anymore. So we can take those two away. And we can add overclockers to either side of that. And as long as they're pointed at that thing, now what they're going to do is every 5 cycles, make the targeted tile run 10 cycles at once. So that's just going to add, well, it's going to make it worth a lot, but also its value is going to go up because the investors add value to it every cycle. Or at least they currently add $3 every 2 cycles, but that's going to get bigger quicker. So this lonely thing over here is going to get up to a $20 billion upgrade. It's now with 4.5 million by itself. This one over here, same deal. So that puts either of our factories up to 600 million. So we have $1.2 billion base earnings. I'm actually going to remove all the accelerators at this point because they're probably redundant if I'm understanding this all correctly. We use overclockers instead. We couldn't before because they're way too expensive, but now that we're stupidly rich, that's an easy choice. Now look at that money trickling in, $240 billion. A few minutes later, we're up to $400 billion, and that means we can afford the final level of the investor, 1% production to every factory every cycle. So these are just going to get really, really, really big. So at this point, we're also probably going to get rid of the parks because we could use investors. They're just going to be bigger. It's 30% instantly or 30% compoundingly over 30 seconds or infinitely, really. $1 billion per second. The investors are costing $1 billion, now $2 billion, now $4 billion. So you get the idea. It's going to get expensive. But the only thing that's really going to affect us at this point are percentages. Dollar value amounts aren't really relevant anymore. There's also a very easy way to increase my income. This is 4.9 million, but if I trash it and add one of the, not one of those, one of these, and point it that way and upgrade this all the way up, it is going to be 714 million. I think it's probably worth it to do one more time because like this is only producing say 6.9 million, not really factoring into a whole lot. It will decrease the value of these somewhat, but if we add another one of these and upgrade it all the way, our earnings go up again. Now we have 4 of these with $900 million each, so 3.7 billion per second. And while I was being stupid, we easily saved up the $300 billion we need for the 1% per second thing. We're going to do the same with this other investor. I'm going to do the same thing again though. These are currently 2.3 billion times 4, so that's easy math. Then we're going to lay that one down and go all the way up, and now they're 2.7 billion times 5 actually. So yeah, they actually made up their own income in that time. So these investors are absolutely going to be worth the money. Okay, the money's getting so stupid at this point that we can basically insta buy the $300 billion we need to upgrade them. Okay, we're easily into the trillions of dollars now, and the more of these we have, the stupider the money is going to get, and it's going to compound on itself, so it's just going to get endlessly bigger and bigger. So we're somewhere in the neighborhood of $5 trillion a second on average. I think the overclocker can also affect the investors, so instead of trying to increase the value of that thing, maybe we should be trying to increase the investor. Because if it has 1% production every 1 cycle, now every 5 cycles it's going to run 10 cycles, so it's going to be 10% increase fairly often. I don't know if these affect the investors, but I'm going to give it a try. And the value is just going to, yeah, already we're at the 10,000 trillion per second. And that number is starting to go bananas. So yeah, I think it works. We can increase the speed of the investors, and it's good that we did. Normally it takes considerably more time to break the game. So that number's getting pretty big. And it turns out this whole time there was a fast speed button. I could have been doing this much, much faster. But whatever the case, this thing started to turn into NA and TNT, which has got to be a pretty big number. So we can spend $10 trillion to buy the box, send to the next player and end the game. Okay, done. Today we're going to combine things that should never be combined and make numbers so big that they might end the universe. To begin, we click on the spaghetti. Every time we do, we earn $1. And every time the meter at the bottom gets full, it spits out a new element. We have poop, we have fire, we have air. And these all have benefits by themselves. Air gives me an idle $1 per second. The fire is 10 cents per click. And we love clicking, so let's put the fires together to make a big fire. Or energy. Now we get an extra 23 cents per click. We also have water. That gives money per click, so we combine that with energy, and they don't like each other. So energy plus air also doesn't like each other. The dirt also doesn't like each other. So let's just click away for a moment. We've made $160 already. And if we get a few things, maybe we can get earth on earth. Earth and earth doesn't like each other. Earth and water makes mud. Air and fire make something that left. Whatever that was, it actually left me mist. Mist doesn't last very long. I also didn't realize there was an upgrade menu this entire time. So our click per income is going up by 10, 20, 30%. So we're up to 2.2 per click. And we're going to increase our idle income by 10% as well. We're really here to make big numbers. Water plus mud. Water plus air is rain. Rain comes with both click and idle bonus. Rain plus earth makes a plant. Air plus whatever that was makes dust. I don't know what we want to do with dust. Air plus dust? Nope. Maybe energy plus plant? Alright, well, we've got some puzzling to do, but we're just going to keep on going. We're making money. The longer we think, the more money we make anyway. Okay, we need more clicking power, so we're going to click on that twice. Now we're getting 3.5 per click. I didn't realize this can actually basically tell you what you need. So fire plus water equals steam. So there's another steam. Going back to our collection, fire plus dirt equals probably clay. That's not dirt, that's already beyond dirt. Our idle income is actually pretty good as well, so let's increase that by a few ticks. So it's up to $14 per second. What about steam and water? Fire and steam? We've got so many different things to try. Plant plus fire's gotta be something. Nope. Plant plus water apparently makes something. That should make sense. Algae. That also increased our income. This game might be more about the idle income because we're going to be too busy combining elements as opposed to actively clicking. Speed idle. Increase the speed of idle tick by 10%. Yes. Still need some dirt. We can buy base level elements, but I figure it's easier just to spawn them out of nowhere. Although this clicking isn't getting to be a lot of fun. Okay, we have lots of fire and no dirt. Normally I would be thrilled to have this much fire. Algae plus dirt also makes something. We just need a lot of more of these advanced things. We need more plants as well. But all of it stems from dirt. We've gotten everything but dirt like 1 billion times over. You know, and I think I picked these up. It actually shakes with what can be combined, so we made a cloud. Cloud can be combined with fire, interestingly, for sun. Sun might not combine with anything that we know about yet, but that does give me giant bonuses to income. Speaking of which, idle income going up another 20%. Fire plus dust also does something. Fire plus you, we get gunpowder. Ooh, gunpowder plus fire's gotta be fun. And it left again. Oh, we made an explosion, but it was short-lived. Probably because it was an explosion. Oh, and we finally got a dirt. So we need to remember what we're gonna do with the dirt. We should work our way down. Dirt plus fire equals lava in a bucket. Then we combine that with water. And that made something that disappeared again, but that made obsidian. Oh, each unlocked element increases income by 3%. So we're getting a 42% income boost just because we found new stuff. And then our idle income is going to go up again. And we're also going to get a 2% chance of double any income. Then we're back to clicking and waiting for base elements to show up again. Maybe clicking power does matter a little bit because we will make money, but that also might make the green bar go faster also. Our achievements so far have gotten us an extra 27% income. I'm going to spend $2,500 on 2 times craft, increase the chance to create double the amount of basic elements by 2%. That's not a huge amount, but every once in a while if we get double dirt, that's going to be great. So if I put fire and water together now, that makes steam. Steam plus earth equals some kind of water fountain, a geyser. I probably would have preferred to keep the geyser and use it for stuff, but I guess the game can just eat it and, you know, that's just going to be the way it is. I think I can actually use this to swap elements. I didn't know I could do that. That might cost money, but I can swap these out for different elements and then we'll be all the better for it. So if we combine these two, we get a bucket of lava. We can bucket lava with dirt and then we can get a new thing. So we just need to turn this into dirt. There we go. We've got a pile of dirt plus the lava equals volcano. Okay, big time idle bonus out of a volcano. And we can combine the volcano with the energy. Finally used for the energy. Geothermal power. Well, the game ate whatever it was. It was ash. So that's a big boost to click and idle, but it also ate them, so we don't have it anymore. We need sun plus a rain cloud. Now I need to remember how to make a rain cloud. So I need those two. There's a rain cloud plus sun equals a rainbow. 8.8 idle, 1.87 click. And while that's been happening, we can we made $5,500, so we can increase the speed of the progress bar of elements by 10%. I think that's the green bar that we need badly up. I'm pretty thrilled that the game keeps eating my elements, because now we're down to 4 things. Algae, mud, rainbow, and water. But actually, if I get some dirt, which I should be able to get with a few touches of this, we can combine it with the algae into something new, and I don't know what that is. A mushroom. No, we don't have that anymore either. It's like the game doesn't want me to combine things. I guess we didn't increase the chance of doubling our idle money by 2% so far. And there's 4%, so we can get $110 every once in a while. And all the while this has been going on, we're hitting all sorts of these things, so that's obviously going to help us make ever more money. I think all we need is 2 more upgrades, so we can buy one of those, and there's an achievement for an extra 3% earnings. We're now at 42% bonus. Next, we're going to need air plus lava in a bucket. So we've spun that into lava, now we need air. Luckily, I have an overpowered auto clicker that's going to help us get there quicker. So what did I say we needed? Lava plus air, so we just re-roll this until it hits air, and then we combine those two, and then we get stone, which gives a giant boost to idle. And then stone plus plant makes something that's got to be good, so we need dirt plus cloud. So we need more basic elements. We just forever need basic elements. I guess we can buy them, but that is going to get expensive. But those two make the rain cloud, plus that makes a plant, and that plus the stone makes a new thing that got eaten by the game, but it's a moss, which is reasonably good. We've got a long ways to go to actually get a lot of these things, because you got to get super advanced. Next, we need air plus rock. And to get the rock again, we need air plus lava, and so more base elements. So there's our stone. Now we just need air, which we can recycle there. So that makes sand, and sand is good for idle as well. And when I pick up the sand, it does want to combine with the mud. So I think we should do that. That's going to be something pretty advanced. Clay, and we get to keep our clay. To celebrate, we're going to increase our idle income one way or another. We're also going to have a 2% chance of having a double result from when we combine things. That's going to be big. It's going to be rare, but it's going to happen when we need it. I can feel it. Okay, so the idle income speed is going to go up by quite a bit. That way it can just tick away, and so is the income. It is up to $120, so it's going to make us a lot, especially if we let it run for the next 40 hours. Double income chance is also up to 8% for either clicking or idle. $20,000 later, we're going to increase the progress bar again. And I also want a 4% chance of the double merge thing, so a couple $100 more. Now, when we merge something together, there's a 1 in 20 chance, 1 in 25 chance rather, that we're going to get a double result. So we got to go all the way to cactus now, which is plant plus sand. Water plus dirt, there's our plant. So what was the other side of that? We got to make sand, which isn't super easy to do. We got to have stone plus air, which means we need air plus lava and fire plus dirt before that. Well, there's the fire plus dirt to make the lava bucket, so that needs plus air. At this point, I'm going to buy some basic elements because I don't want to wait. So we got to turn this into air because air plus stone equals sand. Sand plus plant equals the cactus we're after. One cactus, do we get a double result? We don't. But look at the bonus we get on this thing, and it just looks fun. I do kind of like the idea of the double merge result thing, so we're gonna buy that for now. Also, idle income is only $4,100 to upgrade. Okay, we're gonna increase the idle speed again by 10%, and idle income is just gonna go up another 20%. That's okay, because we're getting $200 per second. I didn't realize click income was so cheap either. We have a 70% bonus currently. We're going to spend $25,000 to go up to 110%. That's actually a giant increase. 23 per click, and we can click this fast. I've also added double click chance, and you can see that's happening quite often. 47.6 on the double click, so we're making money. But even at this speed, that progress bar is slow to fill up. So let's fix that with another 20% increase to that. That's actually going to make a reasonable difference. I'm going to spend $40,000 increasing my click income a little bit, and then also our 2 times income chance, and then we're going to auto click for a little while to build up some money. I may have gotten a little carried away, but we have $10 million, which turns our idle income into $617 only. With the remaining money spent on click, $65 per click, not good enough. Which is why I think we're overdue to prestige 507 points. But the benefit of that is now every click we get $24. And look at all the elements spilling out. And they're even starting to multiply here, so for right now we're just going to relax and make some money back. You know what, we're going to spend all our money on click income because clicking is our strongest superpower right now, so we're already up to 70, 82, 86 per click. So our income is already well above where it just was. Even the idle is up to $411 and I haven't done a thing. So let's adjust our idle income from 0 to 120%. We're at almost $1,000 per second, whatever the unit of measurement is. So I'll spend $50,000 on the idle speed. So now we're making $1,000 every whatever that is. And we'll spend $50,000 on the progress bar because we want to be sure that we're getting all the progress we can because we're going to need a lot of elements to finish this. So we'll make that investment nice and early. $100,000 can buy it twice. So now we're just going to stack up all the background elements. Our idle income, $1,000. I do want to try and get our merging doubler thing as high as possible. I need as many chances as possible to get multiple merge points. So there's a 10% chance now when we merge something 1 in 10 that it's going to give us double results. Still not convinced that's good enough, so we're also going to spend $200,000 on click income, up to $220, and a few more on idle income. Then we're going to save up some more money again. I'll be back after some water. $1.5 million means we now have a 14% chance to get double results. The rest I'm just going to spend increasing our idle speed, so that's starting to close that bar pretty quickly, $1,500 every time it does. Now to resume working on our mess, we need a cactus, we need sand. So I'll be taking a few minutes to build all the way through this. I should have these memorized by now, but I really don't. Anyways, thanks for abundance of elements and a few missteps along the way, we have cactus plus sand, desert. That adds huge amounts to idle, $830. We'll put that over there. Next is a pyramid. That's going to be even more valuable. We need to add a rock to the desert, so we need air plus lava. Luckily, that's super easy to build. Rock to the desert. Pyramid, I want to keep that. It never lets me keep anything fun. That adds $1,200 to the idle earnings, even $50 per click. Moving all the way up, we need fire plus stone. I got a double result on that. It's about 2 lavas. Anyways, fire plus stone. Hey, we got it again. 2 metals. Nope, a single metal. I'm just stupid. If we combine that with gunpowder, we get a bullet. So how do we make gunpowder? We need fire plus dust. Dust is air plus dirt. Dirt and air is dust. And I think that was with fire for gunpowder plus metal equals a bullet. In the background, we're up to $3,000 per tick, so we can increase our idle income, $3,300 per tick. And we need a gun, so we need metal plus bullet. So we got to work our way back to this. I think I actually had a stone sitting there already. So gun plus bullet equals gun that went away, and I think we get to keep our metal. This one should be easier though. We get to make an apple tree. That's plant plus clouds. Clouds is simply air plus steam, whatever that is. So we put those two together. There's our super cloud thing. The plant is simply this rain cloud plus dirt. So there we go. We got a new something or other. It went away. That's cotton. And if we use the auto clicker now, we make even more money. We can also buy basic elements for $100 at this point too. So we should have lots of elements to get us very, very far. I'm going to increase the progress bar as well, just so we can get more things quicker. Probably also buy a bit of a chance to get double base elements. It's not that expensive. This would have been a better investment early on, but we're not here for good decisions. At least I'm not. I have no idea why anyone else is here. Next, we need fire plus sand. Alright, I got the sand, got the fire. That's going to make glass. That's 300 idle, which is pushing our idle score ever higher. Hopefully we can combine glass with something easy, like metal, to make probably glasses. And hopefully we get a double result out of this. We didn't, but we got single glasses, 585 idle. Oh, if we had got double, we could have just combined that into binoculars, which is double glasses. I'm going to increase the chance of double click power, so 1 in 5 is double chance. Then we also have a 1 in 5 chance of double any income. Then our clicking power is probably going to go up again once we can afford it. So for only $100,000, our click income will go up. We did that 3 times. We're up to $500 per click. But it's time to get back to making glass. Fire plus sand equals metal. Metal plus glass equals glasses. Glasses plus glasses equals binoculars, which we're not allowed to look at. 2,000 idle though. That's huge. Now I need sand plus glass. So we're just making a bunch of sand at this point. I feel like we're not using a lot of water right now, so I'm turning all my water into other things, and I feel like I might regret that. But fire plus sand equals the glass we need, so then we need sand, which is 1 step prior to what we just made. But a few moments later, we actually got a double sand out of that reaction, so that feels good. I want more doubles. Time. We've created time at this point. I think I'm going to feel a little bit better about this if I actually organize things a little bit so I can see what I'm dealing with. Next, I need metal plus energy. I don't remember how to make energy. It was a while when we did that. Fire plus fire. That's an easy one for once. And metal is simply fire plus rock. So we can get one of those started pretty much right now. We just need some air. Fire plus stone equals metal. And it was metal plus energy, which is electricity. 211 idle. Still not getting a lot of double results. So we might just sit back and relax for a few minutes to hopefully get more double results. Because if we can get those, we'll make progress a lot quicker. Okay, we saved up about $10 million. Didn't take very long. So we now have an 18% chance, almost a 1 in 5 to get double results. That's still not high enough. But we got a few perhaps easier ones to get. So glass plus our lightning bolt. Glass is simply fire plus sand, which we have sitting around. So then glass plus lightning bolt equals light bulb. Now if we combine that light bulb with metal, we'll get what looks to be a lamp. So once again, fire plus, oh, we got double there. So we got double lava. So then we need a rock. Plus air equals sand. And what was it we needed to add? Metal, I think. Okay, fire plus rock equals metal. We got 2 metals that time, so that's finally starting to work. Metal plus that equals a lamp. We didn't get double lamp, but we have single lamp. Idle 1,200. Our idle income is 8,500. And we can take that one further. Lava bucket plus lamp probably equals lava lamp. So we just need to make 1 lava bucket. So we need to turn something into fire. 1 lava lamp coming up. I want to keep that. But our income is almost $1,000 per click, so we can make some money. I'm also gonna spend $9 million on our clicking income, which is gonna add a lot of extra money. Then idle income as well. So now it's almost $10,000 idle income and $1,000 per click. I mean, money's coming in, but it's still not, you know, crazy fast. Okay, next we need glass plus a rainbow. It's been a while since I made a rainbow, so that's going to be a fun experience. I've actually run out of basic elements, so we're going to start to buy more. Before we do, we're going to try and get the double the chance to get more basic elements. So there's a 1 in 5 chance we'll get extras. So we'll just auto click there, and that topped this up nicely. Okay, so I've created another sun, which we needed to make a rainbow. Now we need that plus the rain cloud. So we have a rainbow plus glass, which we have sitting around somewhere, and whatever it was disappeared. Prism, but I think we actually got 2 of them. So that, yeah, that turned our income way up. I think we can make gold bars, metal plus the sun. So fire plus those clouds equals the sun, metal plus the sun, gold. And we got 2 of them. So our clicking income is 1,400, our idle income is 14,000. I'm looking ahead, hopefully finding something we can combine the gold with, which could be a diamond, but we need to make whatever that is first. That's a clock plus a plant, and we still have a clock actually. And whatever this is a plant plus this plant, so that's just a plant plus actually mud. So we can actually make that right away. That's a new one, swamp. So now I just need to add a plant actually to the swamp. And a plant is pretty easy to make, especially with our pieces. So we can sort of jump way up here. We need mud, dirt plus rain. There's our plant. Plant plus swamp equals peat. So clock plus the peat, time versus the peat equals coal. So now I just need another clock, because time plus coal equals diamond. So we need to go back and we have sand plus glass. Glass we already have, so now we just need to go back through the process of doing all this again. Doesn't take long with these resources. Sand plus glass equals clock. Clock plus coal equals diamond. That adds 6,250 idle, 376 click. If we combine that with the gold, that goes even higher. I would have liked to have kept that. But with that adds 11,000 idle, 875 click. So that was a massive boost. So we should just try and jump ahead and make things like that. Like diamond plus this thing, which is that thing, that would be a little bit harder to build up to. I'm trying to find some easy shortcuts here. DNA is time plus the swamp. Everything takes so long to build to because these pieces are also advanced. I do kind of want to make the DNA though. I guess I'll increase the progress bar some more, that we can spit out some more pieces like that. Did not mean to make mud. To be fair, we did actually need some mud, but not in that sense. We needed clay. We need to add fire to the clay to make a brick. That was the first brick we've ever made. And a brick plus brick actually makes something. So this mud is going to be good. We just need to make another sand. So that makes a brick. Actually, we need to add fire to that. We'll borrow some of this water, turn it into fire. Brick plus brick equals, I don't know, brick wall. So the clock was sand plus glass. There's the clock. In fact, we have 2 clocks. That's also really good. That added 2,000 idle income. But now we get to do the whole swamp thing, and that's going to take a lot of different plant parts. So to get started, we need a rain cloud plus dirt. So we'll do that for now. I could actually jump ahead and sacrifice one of my clocks to make a tree, and I think I might, because that might be a good one. And we have a spare clock anyway, so we might as well. Yeah, that adds 90 click, 1,600 idle. The problem now is that I'm pretty well out of basic elements. I can buy a few more. Whoops, I was clicking the wrong thing. Supposed to be clicking here, so that was a giant waste of money. I know where to get more though. Although, considering we can prestige for 1,200 more points, we might as well do that because that's essentially going to triple our bonus. So each click is $115 from the beginning. So I'm going to right away increase the chance of getting double elements. We are also going to increase our click income, of course. but I definitely want as many basic elements as we can afford. Which, wouldn't you know, it is going to be a lot. Okay, there's a couple $100,000 already. Okay, and then here's $1 million to get potentially double results. 12% chance, that's fine for now. Our clicking power is going up to 170%, so it's much bigger abruptly. I guess our idle income needs to go up anyway, because it's just going to run in the background for us. It's making $8,000 a second right now. Now it's doing it even quicker, and we're just going to auto-buy the rest of these. They'll all help in their own precious little way. And that will run in the background, make us money while we build our way back up to things like the DNA, clock plus peat bog. Okay, swamp plus time equals life. That's 5,450 income. And in the background, we actually made several $1 million, so I'm going to increase our merge chance and probably our idle income since it's going to be the moneymaker for a while. But since I do have DNA strands, I can make a hot dog on a string. I feel like combining some of these things should be illegal, but we're making a lot of money doing it, so who cares? So it's really easy to make the swamp. Swamp plus DNA equals bacteria, 10,000, and we got 2 of them. So that gave us $20,000 per second. So let's obviously make that trigger more often and increase its income again. So we're up to $31,000 every second or whatever. Sand plus glass equals swamp. Swamp plus time equals DNA thing. DNA thing plus dirt equals a human. $7,800 combined with a microscope. It ate that, but we did get something very special. Science. $62,000 a second. Really wish I got 2 of those. That did a crazy amount for our income. So now we're making more like $500,000 a second with the auto clicker. And that feels good because that's going to add up to really big results. I guess we could build back up to person, metal plus person, but these are starting to take so long to build up to. So DNA is swamp plus time, and I think mud, oh, we got double DNA too. That's a really good one. So that's going to turn into a person. And person plus metal, actually before we do that, let's increase our chance of getting double results. Person plus metal equals tools, $12,000 a second. So our idle income is 107 grand per tick right now. And we can actually make that quicker and more valuable. Tools plus tree equals something good, and then that could actually kick us down to whatever's at the end. Tree plus tools equals whatever that is. I think logs, that's $40,000 per second for basic logs. But if we combine that with fire, we cause a campfire for $42,000 per second. I thought that would be more. So far, science is still the most valuable. Microscope plus person. Actually, we could probably make one of those fairly easily. There's the microscope. Also, here's a higher chance of getting double results and more clicking power. And you know what? Let's just increase everything. Okay, so we got this swamp. Swamp plus time equals, we got 2 DNA pieces there. That's lucky DNA plus mud equals a person. Human plus microscope equals science again. So that gave us a giant boost income again. And then we could just take this dirt and combine it there for another human if we want. And since we have another DNA piece sitting here, we can fairly easily make another swamp, combine it there for the little hot dog on a string, and combine that with some glass to make a microscope. Plus person equals science again, $275,000 per second. So then if I hit a 2 times bonus, which I should have done a long time ago, we can spend whatever money we made. Our idle income is $618,000 per second. And if we use auto clicker, we're making, I don't know, $3 million a second. And it didn't take long to earn $300 million. So we've probably made well over $1 billion in total by now. Especially considering it in the background, we're basically making $1 million per second. So I think we should spend $320 million on basic elements to see how many spit out of there. Thought that'd be more dramatic. But I feel satisfied. We combined a bunch of things that should never be combined and made ourselves rich doing it. I've got 99 walls to get through, and I can only assume that once I do, I get unlimited coffee. In order to get through these walls, I need to summon my little idiots here. I summon them by building up my mana, and enchaining a soul, then getting more mana, and then casting a skeleton into the world. He'll run up and they'll start tearing down the wall. We've got 3 skeletons out there, so that puts us up to about 5 damage per second. So in theory, we've already defeated all 99 walls, we just need 1,000 years of time. But I am pretty curious what happens when we get to this mark. I want to see what pops out. And we got a skill point. Excellent. Our first skill point buffs the skeleton summon spell. Skeletons get extra damage and extra 2 per second. That actually gave us a lot of extra DPS. We need more mana, and apparently if I click on this thing too fast it breaks, so the game already knows me. So we're going to enchain a few more souls and then launch another skeleton into the world. Oh, the first wall broke. I was too busy clicking on the mana orb. So I can spend 30 on augmentation spell. I guess it gives me passive mana generation if I'm understanding that correctly. Though maybe we get a few of those because I don't want to click on this thing forever. That seems to be working somewhat. The mana is sort of going up and down. I'm not entirely sure how this works. So we'll give it a few more levels of that. That way it can fill itself up. In the meantime, I have a few more points. So this will increase my mana generation for each time I have focus going. So my mana is absolutely going crazy now. I didn't realize that number could just keep going. I thought the bowl would get full. Aside from that, we're obviously going to enchant a few souls, burning through our mana, but that's also going to allow us to summon many more skeletons, especially if we continue to click on this. They're very cheap, considering they last forever and do pretty much anything I want them to. Our damage is now going up to about 25 per second. We've got another skill point, so let's make the skeleton stronger. Base damage is now up to 3 per second. So our total damage is 37 per second. I feel like we're going to add some numbers to that by the end of this video. Wall number 2 is done. We've got 97 more to get through. And Idiot Stick has brought me a side quest already for 1000 mana. That's not as much as we thought. I do want to click on it just so he'll go away. I just want to focus on spawning idiots for my wall. Our nearby town's unofficial mascot duck has gone missing. Someone probably ate it. We can interrogate or inquire. I'd rather just interrogate. We don't need to inquire if we're interrogating. Also, I'm going to look the Goblin Archer summon spell. They show up and apparently poison the walls. They are a little bit more expensive for sure, so we've got to enchain some souls, even just to be able to summon a few of those, but at least the wall will be poisoned. And the poison damage might be cumulative if we get enough archers going at it. But for now, I do want to interrogate whatever we're supposed to be interrogating, so there we go. Interrogating innocent peasants. I mean, I have poison archers. They could help with the interrogation. We're going to enchant a few more souls, a few more poison goblins going out there, because I feel like they're going to do a lot more damage overall because they're wildly more expensive. I'm not sure about that, but we're up to about 50 damage per second. Oops, I broke the mana thing again. So keep going up. We're going to buy some more levels of focus. That way we get good passive mana. And Bone Enhancement, the skeleton's damage is going up many more times because we just broke the wall. 69 damage per second. And we got about 1000 mana, so we're going to enchain some souls, and those are going to turn into skeletons because we just buffed these guys really big. And they're pretty cheap to buy, so we can buy them real quick. I really like these games because you don't really have to play them. You can mostly just drink coffee and come back once in a while to see what's happened. Since that was wall 4, we've unlocked some new spells. We could get Bone Spear. This increases Bone Spear damage. I'm not really sure. Okay, there's Bone Spear. Got it. Then we're going to upgrade our basic skeletons again. We're probably going to use these basic idiots for most of everything. Got lots of mana, so let's bring our focus up a little bit. And then we're going to enchain some more souls. And then we're going to get some more skeletons and a goblin because I misclicked. We're also going to try Bone Spear for 28. Okay, that just launches like missiles at the wall. Doesn't seem like a good use of mana, but it's kind of fun. Damage per second jumped up to about 230 after all that, so that feels pretty good. We got another skill point as well, so ponder the mana orb with greater intensity. So now we get 2 mana per click, so when I really want some extra, I can bully it like this, but I think the passive is much better. Speaking of which, we're going to investigate the duck heading towards the river. Then we're going to chant another soul. This one's going to be a goblin. Those ranged bad boys have got to do something eventually. Another wall broken. I'm actually going to upgrade because we can put the goblin's poison damage way up. So we're going to enchain another few souls, and then those are going to be goblin archers, so we're getting lots of poison damage out. One of those. Now we need to save up yet again. There's one. That's going to be 2. 1, 2. Now the poison damage is sitting there pretty routinely, and that's going to whittle away the wall. On the side quest, on the river's edge, you see a duck's tracks that lead to the water. Intuition. We're going to use intuition as soon as we save up the mana. Intuition it is. Quest progress is about 30% done. This wall seems a lot stronger. We're up to 220 damage per second. We can definitely get that higher. What we need is more focus. Lots and lots of passive mana generation. So each one of these upgrades is adding 2.4 per second, and Septum was 50. And 50 seems like the kind of number I'd like to hit. And then our basic skeletons are getting upgraded again. They're up to 10 damage per second, so we need more of those. We're going to enchain another few souls. And bring another few skeletons into this world to attack a wall for eternity. I've deducted, maybe even deduced, that the duck has entered the river. We're going to dive in as soon as we get 1200 mana. The best way to find a duck is to dive straight into the river without any thoughts or concerns whatsoever. And there we go. Executing a perfect swan dive into the river. We could also summon a cultist. I think if we summon those and sacrifice them, it boosts our mana generation. And enchanting souls and chaining souls is getting very expensive. That costs 1,000. The next one costs 1,200. So these better be worth it. So there's cultist 1 and there's cultist 2. They're going to run around out here, waiting to be sacrificed. I don't know if I'm supposed to sacrifice them immediately. Yeah, that added about 500 mana each, which is only 10 seconds worth, so they're maybe not worth it at this point at least. What maybe are going to be are the goblin archers. And I guess I got room for a few of those since I sacrificed the cultists. Also, we'll just spend some more on focus, so we get higher mana per second. Also, now that we're underwater, we lack the oxygen to continue to breathe, so we're going to use reeds because that's a cheaper option. A tube to the surface is plenty to breathe through. Deep underwater, the duck's trail is going cold. We're just gonna know. For 2100. That's getting expensive, so we'll put a few more points into focus. This pays for itself quickly. Should probably also upgrade concentrate mana. That's gonna give me extra every time I cast focus. Should have clicked on that one a while ago. But that's okay, I can make lots of mistakes. Because I got too much time on my hands, so we can just keep going till we make it work. The duck has been spotted, dead ahead. We're gonna subdue that duck. Incepting the idea of restful sleep into the duck's mind. This thing better be worth it, I've been chasing it for a while. The duck is finally in hand. The townsfolk ask what shall become of it. We could roast it or knight it. A night duck is kind of funny. Maybe it'll be a helper for me to destroy the wall. Yeah, we're gonna have a night duck. Probably the more successful thing I've done lately. Reward, mana rock. So for pursuing the duck, we now get the mana stone with 50 mana per second. And I think we've only got one item so far, but we have slots for 2. So that means we're going to start another side quest because that was obviously worth it. And Ruling Mob have gathered around the mayor's house. Telepathy. And we also need some skill points, and we unlocked a new row. Okay, we can unlock the Captain summon spell. Captains produce an aura of bravery, which increase the damage multiplier. Yeah, we're going to need, well, that's not actually a huge multiplier, so we're not going to go too crazy on that, but we're also going to make things a little bit cheaper. So we're going to enchain some souls because I've got over 20,000 mana, and then we're going to spit out some captains. Those are 1,000 each, but each one of those is a good multiplier, so our damage is going to go up. We're going to do the same thing. So we currently have 3 captains out there. Those are multiplying, so our damage went up to 400 and something. These are getting very expensive, but we'll still throw another skeleton out there. And it seems the mob are angry about the recent increases in tax. Pitchfork. Pitchfork solve all the angry problems. Manifesting a pitchfork and thrusting it in the air. That's the kind of thrusting we all love. Looking ruffled, the mayor has come out to face the mob. We're going to boo at him. That's $1,100 option, so that better be good. And we're going to get a little more focus going, so we get a little more mana per second. Crumpling under the pressure, the mayor has turned bright red. Ooh, we got to laugh at him for that. We got another few skill points. We're going to get mana amplification for a few points. Holding down on your mana orb triggers the amplification, increase the damage and mana multiplier bonus for each stack. So if I click on that, it should be a multiplier somewhere. Well, damage multiplier up here is up to 1.5, so that's something. And our mayor is trying to escape, so we're going to pelt him. Hopefully with a large rock. And I think we can enchain another soul, another captain, because that's going to give an even bigger multiplier. Oh, he takes 3 slots. That's why they're so expensive. I get it now. 3 spots. But that multiplier is absolutely worth it. Especially considering the wall at this point is 200,000 HP. As for our mayor, he's out of options. The mayor surrendered unconditionally. Taxes or taxless? Taxes. Okay, there's Enchained Soul. Then we can finally buy another captain. The damage multiplier jumped up to 2.2. Not really sure why, but I think it's because my thing actually got full. I think I see what's happening now. I was avoiding this getting full because I was worried that it was going to break, because it can break over here. But now there's only a 32% chance of breaking once it's full, like that. Then we lose it all or something. The mob, by the way, is unsatisfied. They want you to voice one more demand. Petticoats or porridge? Porridge. Everyone needs food. I've refilled the orb, so we have a 1.5 times multiplier down here, so things are going along well. And the negotiations are complete. What of the mob? Disperse or disappear? Teleporting the mob to a random location. That's good. It's a big world. They can enjoy some other part of it. Hope I get rewarded for genociding people. 10 souls is actually really big. So I'm going to increase my base skeleton damage actually a little bit. And then since we have 9 soul spots, we're going to add 9 of those. That's actually going to put the DPS a long ways up. And another wall has been crumbled. So I'm actually going to put a few more points into focus. That's going to add a lot of extra for that. And now we can also spend 25,000 increasing it a lot. Mana per second is about 150 currently. After all that, it's going to be something bigger. It currently jumped up to 190 or so, which is actually a pretty big increase. I am going to do this boost, and we're going to do the boost maybe once or twice more to give us all sorts of multipliers, because we can get greedy. One more time, there's only 1 in 3 chance of it breaking, so it's going to be fine. I'll play those odds. Next is 1 in 2, but we have a giant damage and mana multiplier. I should probably also do Soul Contract, because that's a lot cheaper than Enchained Soul. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it does exactly the same thing. So probably should be paying attention to things like that more. We're going to get 1 more captain and then more skeletons. So damage per second is almost 1,000 at this point. We need to go ahead and put our multiplier back on though. Hopefully this doesn't break the thing. Okay, I took the 1 in 3 chance again. There's a 3.4 times damage multiplier. There's also a big mana multiplier, so we're going to start another side quest. The old scroll you found suggests one of these temples is treasure. We're going to prepare for that. We're also going to do 2 2 more soul contracts because I want some goblins that can fire poison at the wall. And I'm going to boost the captain's multiplier. It's only by 0.01, but with enough base damage, that's really actually going to make a difference. Approaching the door, you notice it is locked by a mechanism. Analysis. We're going to analyze the problem. I broke my mana orb again. But the mana per second was really getting up there. A trap suddenly triggers, launching a poison dart in your direction. I'm going to grab it right out of the air. We just broke another wall. The damage looks like it's actually pretty even between the two, given the ratio here. It's 3/4 these guys to 1/4 those, and the damage sort of reflects that. Not currently because the poison's got to build up. But if we put them up to 8, that's actually a pretty big damage increase for them. That was 25%. So we should probably get a few more of those guys. And, we'll do one more of those and one more again. And after catching our poison dart, that was close. Now for the door, button or blood. We'll do a little blood sacrifice. I feel if we go for the more expensive options, we'll get a more expensive reward. And as long as the bulb doesn't break, we're now up to a little over 2,000 damage per second, which is good for the wall, which has 500,000 HP. The portal opens, revealing a long dark staircase. We're going to saturate it. I don't know what we're going to saturate it with, but we're going to do that. Okay, we're going to get another 3 soul contracts. That was very expensive, but that'll allow us to get one more captain for another multiplier. And I broke the orb again, just as damage was getting up there. But at least we hit the next step on our quest. With the way lit, you forge deeper into the depths, amble, or we're going to charge straight in there, no time to think. And finally, the treasure can be seen on a conspicuous pedestal. We're going to go ahead and just take it, grabbing the treasure with little care for its consequences. That's the way I roll. And I broke the orb again. But despite your efforts, a massive boulder rolls towards you. We're going to whip it. Whipping a giant boulder seems like the logical approach. And somehow we have escaped the temple with the treasure intact. I don't know what happened regarding the whip. But as a reward, we get a gnarled staff, which is a 0.5% mana multiplier. That's nice. Also, my poison archers are now doing a disproportionate amount of the damage. So let's give them just a little bit more. They went from 8 to 9 damage. We probably want a few more of those, so I'm going to enchain 2 more souls that cost about 20,000, but then we're going to put some more poison archers out. But the goblins are almost doing equal damage to the skeletons now, despite the fact that there's far less of them. So we can actually sacrifice all these skeletons and get more of the poison guys. So we're at least going to try this and see how this goes, considering these guys are actually pretty cheap. So now the poison damage might skyrocket. This next level has a few things that can increase mana generation. This one just straight up gives us a multiplier. This one we can summon some mage that will also give us mana. So we'll enchain a soul. We'll put 1 mage out just to give us a little bit of a multiplier. But for now, the damage is got to be getting up there. We're also going to start a side quest. Reports are coming in of an ogre on a rampage. We're going to bench that. Enhancing muscles. New report, the ogre has been spotted in the hill region. We're gonna peer at it. Our damage has jumped up to 4,500 per second. We're gonna try and go for this one more time. There's a 50% chance of that working. And as for the ogre, true enough, it's on the rampage, smashing up a village. We're gonna teleport it. The ogre is shocked by your appearance. Catchphrase time. We're gonna wisecrack. It seems my words had little effect. There's an ogre punch incoming. Oh, we actually got that extra chance for the multiplier. So damage is up to 5,000. We're going to parry the ogre punch. I accidentally broke the orb again, but we have a lot of mana. As for what we want to upgrade next, we can unlock Fireball. It's a terrifying invocation that can be infused with copious amounts of mana. So I think it converts mana into damage. So if I wanted to use it now, it would do 3,500 damage, which is really only a few seconds worth. So that doesn't feel worth it. As my mana goes up though, it will go up in damage as well. And we've parried the ogre. We have an opening, so we're going to discombobulate, hopefully by removing his head. And it worked. What's the follow-up? Discombobulate again. Double discombobulate, an ogre's weakness. I finally also made 100,000 mana, so we can unlock meditate. Also, the beast has been defeated. We're going to discombobulate one more time as soon as we can afford it, which is right now. Clapping the ogre's ears into oblivion. And we get 20 souls for that. I would have rather had a weapon, but 20 souls is still pretty good. But we're going to take a captain, and then the rest are going to be just regular goblins for damage. We have 12 souls though, actually. So we're going to buy one more captain with that, and then more goblin archers. That's just going to put our DPS way up again. Then we're going to add more poison damage to the archers. You know what? We can actually reset these, because a lot of these I didn't really need. We can definitely take a few levels of this, because that's going to give me a lot of mana per second. But I wasn't really using a lot of these other skills anyway. They were just sort of a waste. So we'll get the captain with a 0.2 times multiplier, and the rest of our remaining points are simply going to go into the archers so they can do massive damage. They're going to get 16 per arrow. I guess by doing that, I sort of took away a lot of my... Okay, well that's fine. How many captains do we need? that many, and then the rest can be goblin archers. I'm actually running out of mana before I can summon them all, but I'm hoping my damage per second is going to go up and not down. Well, my damage per second is currently at 8,000, and I don't have all my goblin archers out there yet, so it's got to be quite some damage. And meditate over here increases the mana gain from focus, which is already pretty high level, so the more we do this, the more mana buff we're going to get. So now the total mana from this is 410 per second. And so we definitely want a lot of meditate. I think this might be my most worthwhile. We just added a little bit of extra mana generations. Even a slight multiplier is going to add up pretty big. We already have 100,000 mana again. So that could probably mean a lot more meditate, really. We're currently at 1,600 per second. If we click on this a whole bunch of times and spend that all, that's going to go up to 1.9. which is a really big increase, 2,000 per second. I just put a few more points again into the same thing again, so more mana generation, so it's up to 2,500 per second. DPS is up to, it touched 11,000 there. So I'm going to put a little more points into focus, and that's going to boost our mana generation even more. We should probably start another side quest at this point. An ominous and mysterious tower appeared in a nearby field. Artillery strike. Also, at the rate of producing mana, I should probably get more poison idiots out there. Soul contract is probably cheaper. We'll see how many souls we can save up this way. Well, we can do 1 captain and then 5 goblins, so that's a lot of damage plus a bigger multiplier. Damage is routinely touching 12,000, so that feels pretty good. Physical attacks had no effect on whatever it was I was attacking. We're going to speak to it. I'm going to increase the captainly multiplier. Not sure that one's worth it right now anymore. The faint outline is visible on one side of the tower. We're going to pull it because it's an advanced civilization. They want to push doors outward so they don't get caught in a fire. I'm going to boost this up. It's at almost 1,000 per second now. So after all that, we're getting almost 4,000 mana per second. And the magical surface will not yield. Perhaps from beneath? Yeah, we're going to topple it. Ooh, to get underneath it, we flip it upside down and just smash it. As expected, the underside is comprised of regular stone. We're going to fireball that thing. Now a piercing shriek can be heard. It's a mandrake alarm. We're just going to go ahead and deactivate that because it's probably really annoying. I see now that there's actually these towers up top that are fighting back. I think they're slowly destroying my units as well. That's okay because I've got enough mana that we can just replace them fairly easily and fight right back. Also, this place must be a treasure hoard. Now to find the loot. Bees or knees? We're going to go with knees because it's more expensive and therefore more likely to give us a reward. So I'm going to stick with 10 captains for now. We're going to have to replace these goblins fairly frequently thanks to those stupid Tesla towers. And now I've found the treasure box. I must identify the death traps. We're going to strike. The tower has been rendered inert and the treasure secured. We get a boning wand. That gives us a higher cap to bone spear, which we don't use, so that's dumb. But we do have over 500,000 mana, which means we can buy Awakening. And that means we can buy Heightened that can increase damage for the skeletons by 10% per level. So we could actually swap from archers, I think, back to skeletons. Because they now have a 300% increase. The enemies are going to be very confused as to what we're doing. We're going to have to change our skills back around too. That's definitely going to be pretty annoying to do, so we're going to build up some mana before we go for that. 320,000 mana should be good enough, so we're going to reset these all and start fresh. Apparently doing this, the walls seem to have regenerated as well, but we're just going to load up on the old skeletons here. They're going to do 88 damage per second each. That's actually at max level. So I think I said we get 10 captains and then the rest are all going to be basic skeletons. So we can get a whole bunch of these for hopefully massive DPS. Well, they're all out attacking the wall. The DPS is already going up well above what we were because it's over 15,000 without any multipliers currently. Plus these skeletons are much easier to replace. It's once we trigger past that the towers will start attacking them. We're up to 23,000 DPS. So it's way higher. DPS is up to over 30,000 at this point because I did a really risky gamble here. We'll replace the skeletons for basically nothing and go right back to work. We can even increase our damage more here if we want because we just got so much mana at this point. I guess while we're at it, we should probably just enchain some more souls because we can just get like 1 million of these skeletons at this point. That's just going to really crank up the DPS. Since we have the room for 11 souls, we're going to buy 1 captain and 8 regular skeletons. DPS is going to go up again. Then we're going to buy probably some more meditate because that's going to be a good mana multiplier. We basically got this wave defeated at this point. Done. And that unlocked this row of things. And wow, there's a long ways to go on this. But this comes with the bone royalty. Unlocks and buffs the skeleton noble. He summons lesser skeletons to her cause. It's 5 per minute currently. Now it's 7. They're more expensive, but they only take up 1 space, which is kind of nice. It looks like this one isn't going to fight back, so we're not going to lose any souls along the way. We'll buy a few soul contracts for sure to make up some room for our new skeleton nobles, and we're definitely going to buy lots of those. They're big and yellow and they sit back and let everyone else do all the fighting. So the more minutes they sit there for, the more DPS they're going to add. Got another skill point, so we're going to upgrade our bone royalty. And on top of that, I'm also going to buy more levels of focus because it's quite cheap and we have $400,000 to spend. But that added about 100, little over 100 mana per second. And since we're making about 3,000 per second, we can just let it run for a little while and come back to great riches. And our DPS is just going to go up over time thanks to our skeleton idiots anyway. Alright, it's sometime later. We got 6 skill points and 3.4 million mana. Skill points, I'm just going to go into the bone royalty because I feel like that's going to be there summoning 23 skeletons per minute per noble. And then we're going to spend 2.5 million unlocking soul fusion. And that means I can add souls. And it's really cheap to be able to do that. I think these guys might need extra space to be able to summon their souls. I'm a little unclear on how that works because clearly more skeletons are coming out and they're just filling that up. So I'm not going to complain. They're doing lots of damage. Their damage just crossed over 53,000. All right, this wall is going to regenerate. I realize that the skeleton nobles are going to spawn skeletons, but that's against a wall that can actually fight back. So like it will destroy one of my skeletons and then my nobles will replace them. So I don't need the nobles right now. What I need is my captains to have a bigger multiplier, and then we're going to put a few more of the captains out, along with a few more regular skeletons. Let's just finish a side quest for another 30 souls, so that's going to be another 30 skeletons to our aid, because this one's going to be tough to tear through. That wall is healing, so we need tons of DPS. But it's up to almost 70,000 at this point. In fact, it's over 75,000 now, so we're doing plenty of damage. This wall is going to be painfully slow, even at 81,000 damage per second. Make that 87,000 because we managed to get a really lucky multiplier and another multiplier, 90,000, 93,000 damage per second, and we're only just chipping away at this stupid wall. Wow, we got another one. 96,000 damage per second. That's going to be a record. But if we need more DPS, we can just keep adding souls and therefore adding skeletons, because they're still really cheap. Plus, for only 67,000, I can get an extra 10%. That's now 40% damage. I'm also pretty sure at this point that if I summon more captains, which give a 0.23 times multiplier each, and have less regular skeletons, that would actually be worth it. So let's try a little experiment. Let's give ourselves 15 spots and hire an extra 5 captains. And so far that seems to be working because we just broke 100,000 DPS and we don't even have our full bonuses yet, although we broke the thing. So let's take away another 15 of these guys and add another 5 captains to see if the DPS still goes up. Well, it still hit 100,000 and it didn't even get to the 33% chance, so I think it did go up slightly. But we're probably at about the balance point. But we can still increase our damage with Heighten. We currently have a 390% bonus. We now have a 430, so it was an extra 40%. So DPS is already going over 100 and we have nothing of a multiplier yet. 105,000 now. We were touching 120,000 before my thing broke once again, but we're almost through this stupid wall. Wall 20 has been defeated. So I'm going to upgrade my Captain's Call multiplier. They're at a 0.25 times each, so for every 4 of them, there's a 1 times multiplier. Plus, we can get another 30% damage out of these idiots. We got about halfway through this wall, and I got another skill point. I realized I had these over here that I didn't notice. We're going to get Soul Resonance. Each skill point grants 2 souls. Not really sure that's worth it, but I just wanted some extra souls. I've taken out basically a few more skeletons, so we're going to replace them with captains because I think that's still going to put the DPS up. Like, I still have 115 basic skeletons, which is lots. And DPS does seem to be running away again. We're touching 140,000 per second. We just broke 100 not that long ago. Finish another quest, so now we get a Goblin Crown, which sounds like something that is useful for something I don't have. That's good for Goblin Archers. We don't really get any boost to Goblin Archers right now, so we're not going to bother with that. With my next 2 skill points, we're going to upgrade the Captain's Call one more time. We got a lot of captains, so that means there's a lot of multipliers. So between the Captain's many multipliers and the Heighten ability, the DPS is just going to go bananas. We did just break over 150,000 DPS, and that can still go up quite a bit. And another wave defeated, that means I can put a few more points into the captains. Which means our DPS has jumped up to 173,000, so it's going to be pushing on 200,000 pretty soon as long as I don't break the bulb. But 171,000 is plenty of damage. We'll leave these idiots here running for the next 10 years and see what happens. Our only goal today is to get as many upgrades as possible to destroy as many planets as possible. And we don't have to do anything, but we can certainly start upgrading our power. The more we destroy, the more money we're going to make and the more powerful we're going to get. We're already up to 6.66 damage. And when we level up, we get bigger skills like Big Bertha. We can fire that out, and that's going to help destroy whatever planet this is. I feel like we can make some of these numbers pretty big. We're going to increase the rocket speed so they're going to get to their destination quicker. Obviously, I'm a very busy person. Big Bertha is coming in again and our power is going up. I like this already. We're upgrading a ton. I like how this is a skill, but its cooldown is literally 2 seconds. We can just fire this on repeat and then destroy the whole planet. As we're doing this, we get achievements that get us gems, and these gems can also be used for things like satellites. Rate is a very expensive one, costs $500. We're going to get that. That's going to fire more rockets. And we're going to increase our power a little bit because this plan is down to just a little nibble. Power is always the easy one to upgrade, but I think next we're going to get some more radius. Increases rocket explosion, so we're going to get bigger bombs. Bigger bombs are always a good option. Radius going up very slightly. It's not a giant boost, but it's enough that it's going to make a difference, especially over time. I think we defeated this planet because it imploded and now we're fighting a giant grape. And we're chewing into it pretty quickly. I'm going to increase the boost. I'm not really sure what that is. I think that's for my skills probably. That's probably going to increase my cooldown. So far this planet isn't very strong, so I'm just going to keep increasing its power so we take bigger and bigger craters out of it. I want some bigger, better planets. I've done enough achievements so we made the 20 gems we needed for a sentry satellite. So that just circles around on the orbit, occasionally firing something in, which is whatever that is, and that does a big bite. We're definitely already making this planet look pretty much defeated. I'm pretty sure any life on the outside of the planet is now long since dead. Power's gone up again. We're doing 12 damage per shot and the money's going up. We need to increase our income a lot as well. We're going to increase the rate of fire again. It's only 0.5% or maybe 1% at a time, but that's going to make a big difference. This one's already cooked. Now we're fighting a red planet. Every one of those missiles actually takes a pretty big chunk out of it, especially when you fire a Big Bertha. That's a bigger one. So what we need obviously is more power. I was hoping for a bonus at level 10, but I don't think we got one. I think I'm going to want more satellites because that thing's actually destroying. Yeah, look how it's been 30 seconds and this planet is already looking like a cookie cutter. The next thing I'm going to try and upgrade is income because, well, that's just going to make every upgrade faster moving forward. And let's face it, we really like the big numbers here. That's what we're all about. Okay, I get it now. It's showing in green what the upgrade will become. So if I increase money again, I get an extra 2.5%, which doesn't sound like a lot, but over the next 14 hours, that's going to earn us tons of extra money. That planet self-destructed early. Not sure what that was about. It clearly gave up. So the rocket explosion, they could be bigger. The bigger these go, the more they're going to do. Like, if these get big enough, they'll one-shot the planet. This is the kind of game that works well for me because I can mostly just drink coffee and do nothing and watch things explode. But while we're at it, the rate of fire is going up another 0.5% and soon to be power right behind it for even bigger, better bombs. This satellite destroys. This planet is already almost dead. We're going to increase the power a little bit more just to be sure. Power is already up to 16.5 and those numbers are growing sort of exponentially. So the next upgrade should be bigger and bigger. Pretty sure whatever this planet was is very close to self-destructing at this point. And we're going to make the radius just a little bigger so we're even closer to destroying it. Away it goes. Yeah, the satellite just nuked its core. Oh, it's a boss battle. And by boss battle, it means we're fighting a planet that's probably alive. Oh, we got Kaboom Express. It's a new power. So that's going to fire multiple rockets. It seems like it's obscenely strong at this point. And they recharge very quickly. So I can continually click the things over here and we're going to absolutely ruin what they're calling a boss. The boss is almost dead. We're going to increase our income some more. That's always going to be my favorite upgrade. Rate of fire is also going up. I like how quickly this is escalating. We started with a little itty bitty rockets, already getting very big and very quick, and damage is up to 20, the boss is dead. Then we're fighting Jupiter. So we're going to sit back and relax and let Jupiter die. A few quick minutes later, we're on level 2-3 with $13,000, so that means our income is going from 7.5 to 17.5%. And to finish off whatever this planet is, we're going to go ahead and fire in some of the big rockets. We're going to fire a whole armada of rockets. And getting closer. I think we got it. Wow, that planet is officially toast without the implosion. It's so hard to pick from all the upgrades. Power, rate, radius, what do we want to upgrade? Probably all of the above. Whatever upgrades I just had actually made a pretty big difference because look how much of a planet we can destroy with one salvo. Damage is going up again. It's up to 27 now. I thought it was fun when we hit 20. And we're doing ever more achievements. That means ever more gems for more satellites. Oh, speaking of which, we can afford a laser. That should be fun when that goes off. Yeah, that's going to sit there and just burn a hole in the planets randomly. I hope rate of fire affects everything, like the satellites and my things. Already time for the next boss battle. So we're going to go ahead and probably do this in record time. The amount of dopamine you get from destroying a planet, really nothing like it. Pretty sure we're about to, yep, already destroyed. That took no time at all. So the laser seems to do half of our overall damage. So if we get the power up there, it's now doing 20 per laser and sinking holes way deep. So I'm going to let this chew away for a little bit longer and we'll come back to spend our fortune. $80,000 later, we can get some new upgrades. And we also have a new power, Circle of Smash. Why hit one spot when you can hit everything? I couldn't agree more. That's very satisfying. We're going to need a lot more of that one. We're going to do that again and again. This planet is going in record time and we haven't upgraded in a while. But that means we're also about to spend $85,000 on money earnings, so we're going to get 35% extra income. Each one of those upgrades now costs 30 grand. So what we need is more power, more rate, more radius, and we're going to keep buying those until we're out of money, which is immediately. I guess we should probably have critical chance just a little bit because it is an upgrade. It's probably worth it, and crit multiplier. So every once in a while, we'll get a better hit. That was for 83 damage, so it's like a 50% increase. And we've definitely got some more achievements. Quite a lot of gems. Rate of fire, power, and radius all more or less have the same effect. They're all going to cause that planet to go down a lot quicker. And my powers especially. Once I activate them all at once, the planet gets absolutely boned. And we already have the next boss battle. It looks like it's got some shields, but it can't protect itself from all sides. We just have too many rockets. But that's going to get fun when the planets can actually fight back. This is a boss battle, but it's not going to last very long. We're just too strong still at this point. Our earnings are too high. These little shields can eat up some of my salvos though, like the Kaboom Express, like that got completely destroyed by the shields. But I've got one thing these planets don't have, and that's too much time on my hands. We will persevere against any enemy. Rate and radius also just went up, so that planet's about boned. One more boss dead. And we got a new power, Drill and Thrill. Say hi to your mom. And that one actually makes a big, deep explosion. So between all of those, everything gets destroyed. I think we should probably upgrade Boost here because I'm pretty sure that's going to increase the recharge time of these, and it certainly seems to. This one is far less than 2 seconds now. Wow, that really does a lot to destroy this planet. I was having fun hitting the buttons and it's already dead. And I've just realized for the first time, when I hold down left click, this bar in the lower right moves. I don't really know what effect that has, but we probably should have been clicking more. And we're already at another boss battle. This one's got tons of shields protecting him. So we'll see how long that can actually keep him alive. But it's probably not going to be very long because we have a lot of different options. And I'm pretty sure pretty soon we'll be able to afford a new satellite that's going to increase our offense a lot again. A lot of our rockets are slipping through the defense. Pretty sure if I land one or two up top there, this whole thing's going to, yeah, already dead. It's pretty crazy how quickly we can destroy the planets at this point. This one looks like Earth. We're going to spend $40,000 increasing the rate of fire from 6.5 to 9.5. That's actually quite a difference. We're also going to upgrade the speed. I haven't really been doing this because I didn't think it would make much of a difference, but maybe the faster they land, like once they explode, it triggers an extra 2 fire. It actually seemed to increase the speed, but I might be imagining things. Anyway, whatever. If things go faster, planets die faster, and then we're all happy. Now we're onto the Ice Cube planet. It's already turned into pretty much a shard. We're going to increase our power a little bit because it's got to catch up to the other ones. We're at 111 damage though. That's huge. Every increase right now is adding 12 damage. And we got Rocket Roulette because random explosions are more exciting. I couldn't agree more. Those are just going to fire in. Wow, that's a lot of rockets. I think I'm really going to like Rocket Roulette. I like when all the powers launch at once because it pretty much destroys the entire thing with little effort. And here's a beautiful boss battle. We're going to have to break the nuts on the outside to get through to the starfish. Yeah, we're going to increase our power a whole lot. That way when we launch all of our different things, hopefully they absolutely destroy and get straight into the planet just like that. We really only got well, we're in through 2 sides now, so by the time we do this, pretty sure that's going to be enough to finish off the planet. Oh, we're so close. Just a few more little hits. Yeah, the laser got it. We need more rate of fire. They really only added a couple percent, but even that's really, really big, especially over the next several hours. And we just use all of our powers, and let's have a little more radius so things are bigger explosions as well. One more of those, the planet's about destroyed already. It's so quick. For destroying 30 planets, we got another bundle of gems as an achievement. Oh, +1 here. And that means more satellites. We were going to buy one for 75, but I'm actually going to buy the one for 125. That's going to be even better. Astro Artillery. I like the sound of that. We're going to wait very patiently for it to fire, and it's a little underwhelming so far. It just fires one big blob that doesn't do much. Well, it's destroying things. It reads out 0 damage, so I don't know if it just straight up destroys whatever it touches regardless of damage. I don't really know. Whatever the case, we're increasing our income some more. And besides that, we don't really need the satellites anyway. We're perfectly well to do it with just this. Wait a sec, I've destroyed this planet already. I recognize this face. The planet is getting destroyed much quicker this time around though. A boss battle. This planet is protected by meatballs. I've got the cure for meatballs right here. We're gonna get whatever we can through. The meatballs actually do a really good job of protecting it. They absorb so many of my things. This one'll be a little bit better though. We're getting through on the right side. I've increased the speed some more because this is where speed will come in handy. That way you can just get straight to the planet without staying in the danger zone of meatballs. But this thing's about cooked anyway. Between like all of that, we're so close. Another boss defeated. I wonder how high we can take our increases. Like, can we get money gain up to 500%? That would make it easier. I got a new power, Zany Zapper. It's like a bad pun, painfully persistent and impossible to escape. It's got a 10-second cooldown. Yeah, it's just a giant laser that cores way in there. And it's going off often. So we're going to increase our income again. And then we're going to increase our power to give that super laser even more power. That's going to destroy every planet for the next little while. And we're all the way to the next boss battle. Where's our laser? Okay, our laser was at the wrong spot. We can start paying attention to that. This one comes with like a protective armor, so we're going to have to pick and choose when we launch our things, which was a bad time. It's about to open. Zany Zapper go. Okay, the Zany Zapper doesn't really want to play ball, so we're just keep hitting it with whatever. The Zany Zapper is still going straight into the armor, but that's okay. We're just about there. We snuck a rocket in, that boss is officially dead. And for taking down 8 bosses, we got 40 gems and nothing else. But that does mean I get a new satellite. This is called Spread. Sprays projectiles everywhere because aiming is overrated. Finally, a satellite that gets me. $100,000 for the first time, income is going up. I don't know the story behind this. Like, I don't know why we're destroying planets, but I don't care. It's just really fun to do. Time for another boss battle. Oh, we have another aim, click, and kaboom. Okay, well, kaboom that. And then throw everything else at it, and this is the boss battle. I don't know what makes it a boss battle. It seems like just a very vulnerable planet. Well, I'll take the easy victory. Yeah, go ahead and shoot it right in the core, please, where it will hopefully... Wow, that was the quickest boss yet. And we're making so much money now, we can actually afford these pretty quick. This is going to add 40 damage. The next one's going to add 45 damage. So the next one should add about 50. Yep. So these increase by 5 damage every time I upgrade it. So there's another 5. We're up to 546 damage. That's better. A few minutes later, Planet 12-1 is just about dead, but we have $2.14 million. And that seems like a lot, but that's only going to be enough money upgrades to take us from 50% to 65%, so we got a 15% money increase. But that can also take us from 661 to 880 damage. We've got also an achievement for destroying 60 planets, 80 gems. We have 210 gems, plus 80 again. That means we can afford whatever this one is, Burst Level 0. We're even going to upgrade that once. I'm just going to go and assume it's really good. And I think that's this one over here on the left that fires a burst of 3 blue things that do 1,000 damage. I feel like those are going to penetrate fairly deeply as long as they get past the meatballs. And I went ahead and just straight up unlocked Barrage, which should have been very expensive. That throws a lot of big orbs. So now we have every satellite we possibly can have, so that by itself is going to absolutely wreck planets. More power, 1887, plus extra fire rate, 18%. Maybe some bigger radius while we're at it too. Power is getting so expensive, it is worth it to buy these. Oh, we have a new power, Asteroid Fiasco. So that's all the asteroids coming in, and yep, that about killed the planet. So we got a fresh planet, we're going to use all of the powers if we can, and there we go. Let's see what that does to a single planet. So far, it's actually destroyed like 60% of that planet. Also earned us a fortune, income is going up. Here's a boss battle, do you think the boss is going to survive? I think probably not. We can have that there, then we're gonna go through the rest of the powers, and yeah, it survived more than I thought it would. Yeah, it's nothing, a little more power won't hurt. 2350, the next one will take us up to 2600. Maybe more radius at this point because it's reasonably cheap. We could definitely take more gems. We're running out of achievements though quite quickly. One that did catch my eye was collect 1 QA gold. I don't know if that means quadrillion because it seems to skip over trillion, but that means we've got endgame potential. Oh, also the boss is dead. I wasn't even paying attention anymore. I figured we needed a bit of a boost, so I jumped our power up to 5100. So that means we're going to destroy even these planets probably quite quickly because we're going to absolutely decimate it. And look at our money going up, and it's going to go up even quicker now. 75% extra earnings. There's another $1 million. There's another $200,000 past that. And I didn't think our power was still quite high enough, so I jumped up. We're now doing 10,100 damage. So we're doing about quadruple the damage we were about 30 seconds ago, and that feels good because look at our income go up, and we're going to increase income again and again. Now we're at 80% bonus income. So now when you fire all this damage at a planet using whatever powers we've got under control, yeah, that actually really hurts these planets. Our income is finally getting to an acceptable level, 87.5% bonus. Oh, we got a new power, Space Shenanigans. Who knew rookies could cause as much havoc in space? So we'll send that in, and I guess it's those guys? Oh, interesting. It's going to fire salvos of rockets from all sides. They're all going to do lots of damage, but more importantly, make me lots of money. Coming up to the next boss battle, our radius now is up to 50% bigger. So everything is going to be absolutely enormous. So we'll fire everything we can at the boss and tear through it quite quickly. and make $10 million in an instant. I feel like we're also going to need more fire rate. We're at only 25%. That doesn't feel good enough. Level 16-1, for some reason I've maxed out my fire spawn rate. Those upgrades were costing $3 billion each by the end of that, but now obviously things are going off quickly and destroying planets fast. But look at that income. $18 million, so we're going to increase our income some more. It looks like things probably max out at level 100. But now the fire rate and radius is so big that those planets are getting destroyed without me having to do anything at all. But I obviously still will. We'll send everything going, and that should about absolutely destroy the planet. But you can still never have too much income. 172 gems. I'm going to upgrade my top 2 satellites just as many times as we can. Then the rest goes into that thing, and then we're all the stronger. Time for the next boss battle, and we got Planet Pinata. Smash planets like cosmic candy with wacky wobbly shots. Okay. We're going to go ahead and fire everything we can and see what happens. The boss is protected by meatballs, so some of that's definitely going to get absorbed. Meatballs and shields. I feel like no matter what it does, it's never going to be enough to protect it though, because even if a few of our shots get through, it's going to do huge damage. Well, now we're making the planets look pretty easy again. We got tons and tons of damage going out, and then when we activate all of our powers, things really get wrecked. And we can still get more and more and more. We got $300 million in the bank, which is enough to increase our income some more times. It turns out power maxes at 120, but that gives us just over 1 million damage. And we got Moolah as an achievement. So we've collected 1 billion gold, and I can see why. Since we collected that 1 billion, we've made another 100 million. But we're coming up officially on $1 billion in the bank, so that feels good. There's another planet waiting to be destroyed, so we're going to shoot our max damage at it and really make a mess of it. 19-3. Boom bug. Bug goes boom, planet goes bye-bye. 40-second cooldown. Alright, that's got to be good. Here it comes coming in. Yeah, that take out a massive part of the planet. It does have a long cooldown, but we've got nothing but time at this point. So with 135% income, we can just sit back and destroy planets for the next like 45 hours and see what happens. Literal days later, we have $260 billion and we're ready to destroy some planets. We're on level 59-1 and we just did that to the planet. We are really strong. We're still not even 1% of the way to 1 quadrillion gold. I don't even know how that's possible. Everything else is pretty well there. I guess with our 260 billion gold, we're going to make the radius of explosions as big as we possibly can. So those are going up to 72%. And then the rest of the upgrades, we're just going to go back and forth buying whatever we can. Speed is maxed, radius is maxed. These ones will probably be maxed soon enough. Okay, so let's hit this planet with everything we got and see how long it lasts. Then we do that one there. I don't even know if we're going to have time to use all the powers. Yeah, the planet's dead before we had a chance. So we're really strong, but that's what days and days of upgrades gets you. Today we've got a game that's all about shapes. And we love learning about shapes. We can kill 2 at once if we're lucky. As we kill them, our HP goes down. In fact, it just goes down continually. But that's where upgrade points come into play. To begin, we get 1 damage for $1. That is 0 out of 15. If we want extra damage, we can click that again. 1 damage for $2. And that unlocks things like 50% spawn rate, in case we want more squares, max health, which will make us live longer, etc, etc. So as soon as we start, we're definitely going to start hitting the squares, and now we're one-shotting them. Then we need to remember to pick up their little upgrade points when they drop them. So this time, by the time we died, we got 6 points. So let's give ourselves more max health and more max health again. That unlocked even more max health as a regeneration, so that's how we get continual life and firewall armor. This one costs 50 upgrade points, connection buster, so it'll be a second before we get that. But we got 18 total HP, so we can survive a lot longer. Every time we attack, we do lose a little bit of HP as well. This time we're lasting much longer, and that's not a sentence I thought I would ever be saying. Should about finish one score off and hurting another 8 upgrade points. So we're going to take this a little bit of armor, basically because it's the only thing I can afford and I don't feel like waiting. The squares are combining, that's so good for us. I've never been so excited for squares in my life. One more, not sure we got it, 10 upgrade points. I'm not really sure that spawn rate is going to help us, but I guess it will put more squares on the board and unlock more upgrades. Red enemies drop +1 bits. Yes, we need a different kind of upgrade point for that. Well, since we're at it, we might as well give another 50% spawn rate, then we're going to get lots of squares. We're going to have an entire square party. This could be beneficial if they start to overlap a lot. They're not doing what I would consider a great deal of overlapping, but you know what? There's more on the board and that's going to give us extra points, so I'll be back in a minute. This round I did level up and I got 1 special point because I'm one special boy. So that means red enemies drop +1 bits. So once we save up 400 points, we can then have a 1% chance for blue enemies to spawn. Since that's very expensive, we're going to settle for the repair tool for now. We're going to regenerate 0.1 health per second. Then we're also going to buy more damage,
because I like hurting squares.
So this yielded us significantly better results, 34 points. I can't help but notice there is a square in the back that is a little bit larger than the others. So after tearing through a few rounds, we have 69 upgrade points. I'm going to let that sit in for a second, and then we're going to spend that all on damage, because you can just never have too much damage in anything you do. That put us all the way up to level 11, so I think we're going to be hurting squares a lot more. If we're adding a simple 1 damage per level, we should absolutely destroy every square we come across for quite a while. Okay, the big one showing up, we're going to hit that with all of our damage. We took a chunk out of it. A few runs later, we have $163. We're going to spend that on salvaging, restore 1 health on enemy kill. And then we're going to add a little bit more damage because there's something wrong with my brain. I suppose we'll add a lot more max health because that also makes a little bit of sense. But now we got 30 HP, plus we restore 1 every time we murder a square. Now we got the big square coming in, we've still got basically max health. We take a lot of damage every time we hit it though. So we're going to sacrifice some of its children instead to put some of our HP back. If I kill multiple of them at the same time, I think it's still going to defeat us, so we need some armor resistance. Plus 1 armor against bosses is only $15 to start, so we'll spend 4 levels on that. Then it shouldn't be able to hurt us at all. It actually seems to have made quite a difference. We're hurting it and it's not hurting us nearly as much as it used to, so we're going to defeat the big purple block. And yes, I did literally just forget what squares were called. Boss defeated, Prestige 1 unlocked. I don't want a Prestige, I want to keep going. So it seems like we just use that here to get 200% spawn rate. And I'm definitely here for that. In fact, we're going to turn the spawn rate up a whole bunch of times because we just like big upgrades all at once. Then we'll take this a little bit more armor, and that way we might actually be making health as we go. So Prestige is just like going to the next level. We don't restart. Prestige increases enemy stats and resource gain. I do need a lot more gain. So we're going to hit you. We're still one-shotting things. That's not a great surprise. Look at all the enemies now. This is great. Wow, look at all the resources too. I'm actually loving this way too much. Still feel like we need more damage, but I did see one in particular that's going to be our friend. Attacks deal 5% damage per enemy in the area. That's going to multiply off our massive base damage, which is going up a little bit more. Alright, so back to work. Now we're going to do a lot more damage, especially in these clusters of morons. And we leveled up again, so another special point for a special boy. We can also make our attack size bigger, so I'm going to spend a bunch of upgrade points doing that. Now it is like 40% bigger than it was. I haven't found what to spend our special point on next, so we're just going to start upgrading again. Look at the size of that square though. You've probably never seen one so big. And we got a bigger boss type thing coming in. We're going to wait till that's nice and surrounded by other squares to hopefully pick up some extra damage, but I can't help myself because I'm greedy. Okay, that's better. Now we're going to kill all sorts of things at once. I quickly saved up 448 resource points, so one thing we're going to do is get more HP back when we kill enemies. We're going to get 2 more levels of that. I'm also going to max out my base damage because the multipliers are going to sit really heavy on top of that. And aside from that, we're going to turn up our firewall. That way hurting enemies hurts us less. So now we should be making more life profit for every square murder. We found the level 2 boss. It is absolutely wrecking us so far, so that means we need a lot of upgrades. This is probably also one I should get with my 400 points. Costs 150 but 10% chance for double resource drops. If that happens even every once in a while over the next 6 hours, that's gonna pay out. And I guess a few more points here on this basic one, and I'm gonna touch anything that it will let me touch at this point. I realized I could scroll upwards, and I just spent my special boy point on self-repair, so now I get plus 4 health per second. That's absolutely enormous. By the time I'm back to murdering squares, I completely forgot what upgrades I just bought. Pretty sure I have more HP regeneration. Oh, and a lot more HP. Look at me, 82. HP regeneration is so strong at this point that I can't actually get hurt yet. Gonna try and kill all of these squares at once. There's so many squares in a neighborhood that's gotta be big damage. Alright, they all died and we got all those resources. I need a bigger square. I can't get them all. Okay, I've also got to work really hard at getting this big thing dead because it's getting off the screen quickly. I did also level up again, so I get another special boy point, but this boss is definitely going to sneak past us. I don't have the damage to get it yet. Oh, it comes back though. Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. It's coming back, so we'll get it this time. Never mind, it did in fact get us first. Next, I'm going to spend 100 points, making me do more damage with more squares in the area, and then Ranger's going to make my attack size a lot bigger. Then we're going to increase the spawn rate because more enemies equal more damage and more max health. Now we got a much bigger square. Next, I've saved up 1150 points just so we can increase boss damage. Plus 50% damage against bosses a whole bunch of times. Well, there's 5. And more damage per idiots in the area. We still have 250 left over. I accidentally clicked on more max health, so we're just going to roll with more max health. Okay, the boss is showing up and we're definitely taking bigger bites out of his HP. As long as we get some heals along the way, this will be an easy fight. Wish I got that upgrade sooner because he dead. And we got a purple star point, so we can get 20% attack speed, which is absolutely huge for us. Plus 3 damage is coming up next. Well, you know what, we're just going to go ahead and buy that 2 levels. Part of the problem is there's so many fun things to buy that I sort of forget to buy any of them. But now we're on Prestige 3, so they're going to drop more points than ever. They're also going to be harder to kill than ever. This is pretty crazy because we have a lot of upgraded damage. We do have a multiplier though, so those base damage numbers will get very big. But on Prestige 3, I only got 315 points. I'm actually better on Prestige 2 for now. Especially if I had another plus 3 damage. I'm also going to turn the spawn rate up just a little bit. The damage is good enough I can almost one-shot the big squares on Prestige 2. I was getting about $900 per run, plus I got another special point. So I think I'm going to spend a whole bunch of money getting 5 levels of more spawn rate that ate about $1,000. We're going to do more damage per enemy in the area, and I'm also going to increase my pickup range. I was hoping that would branch out over here. It did not. But judging by how big this gets, there might be room for more. I guess now we'll just add some armor. Okay, so when you max out some of these, that's when they branch out to new things. That was probably painfully obvious earlier. And another 2,700 upgrade points later. I think we should put some points into 10% chance for double resource drops. That gets expensive quickly, but we know of a 30% chance for double drops. That's going to really pay out. Then for the remaining 1,200 points, more damage. Lots more damage. And then we'll go back to the Prestige 2, which I was mistakenly calling Prestige 3 earlier. This is the maximum Prestige we can play right now. This extra damage and drops should work here. So far, we're able to murder all of the squares very quickly. And we're definitely getting some double drops out of there because we're piling up tons of resources. But we found the next boss. We're running out of HP rapidly, so we're definitely not even barely going to touch this thing. So we're clearly going to need more damage because the faster we kill things, the better we're going to do. And we need blue points for more damage, but we need blue things to spawn. I guess I do still have 2,000 points, so now we can have a small chance for blue idiots to show up. And since I have special points, we also just unlocked blue enemies drop +1 nodes. We already maxed that out, so when they do manage to show up, we'll get extra points. And aside from that, I guess we'll just give ourselves a little more HP regeneration and get right back to grinding. Okay, we've already got blues showing up. I thought they would actually be quite rare, but I guess we have a pretty considerable chance of them showing up. And this is a big one, so it's going to drop extra for us. We'll see how many it drops us. Plenty. So in total, we got 8 discs. So we're going to use those to unlock the milestones tab. And that just gives us stuff to claim that we've already completed because we're really good at milestones apparently. This is a good one. Restores 1% max health per second. We don't quite have enough to do that, but that means the more max health we have, the more that's going to pay for us. So we can click on things like this and then suddenly we have a lot more max health. So we'll be able to regenerate rapidly, 786 HP. At this point, we're actually able to completely wreck the boss, and I think we're going to do that. We'll open up the option of the next level. First things first, 1% max HP per second. And then I got another purple point, so let's get a 20% attack speed boost. Then I think I actually want to save up for more chance for the blues to show up. This is on the next difficulty, so things are probably going to be a lot harder to kill, but hopefully it works out. If not, we'll just go back and destroy the smaller ones again for a while. So on this difficulty, we only made 378 and 14 blues, so we're going back a step. After unlocking some more hilarious things like 5% chance to spawn enemies that explode on death, and 15% exploder size. So if I saw that correctly, I think the exploders are actually circles. You'll see them when they show up. I was very confused when we had the wrong shape. Okay, here's an exploder. Let's see it go. Yeah, that does huge damage. That's actually crazy. That's going to be very helpful for us. Going back a level yields us these results. I also just spent a special point making the exploders bigger because the exploders are crazy good. Now we're going to get an extra 1% chance for the blues to show up. That's going to get more and more expensive. But because we got so many blues, we can upgrade our damage a whole lot more. That's actually a ton more. So judging from what I'm seeing here, if I increase my health regeneration again using blue points, we can be pretty unstoppable. So we're going to do that 2 more times. So we get 3% HP per second. And the more max HP we have, the stronger we are. So we're going to top that up a little bit. And let's get another 10% chance for double drops, and we're going to spend 300 on 2% armor per enemy in the area. That'll just help us later in the rounds to survive. So far the HP regeneration seems to be working wonders, as well as the extra armor. We still have completely max health. Well, at least that time from a single run we got 3,700 red points and 92 blues. So maybe just one more very expensive node finder, so now we have a 4% chance of finding the blues. This one's also really good, 25% damage to undamaged enemies, yes please. Here's another really good one, restore 0.5 health when hitting an enemy. We'll take as many levels of that as it will give us. Oh, and also the HP per second is now up to 6%. In this round I got 6,000 reds and 100 blues. We can get pulse bolts, shoots projectiles outwards on each attack. That sounds fun. I forgot that we could turn up the spawn rate as well, plus 100, plus 100. Let's also add a whole bunch of damage And plus 25 damage in a single upgrade in Node Blade. That's ridiculous. And another 25% damage to undamaged enemies. So now as we attack, our little particle things go out and attack in all directions. And we are doing massive amounts of damage. I don't know how long this round has been going on for. I feel like I fell asleep for an hour, but we're still going strong. 10,000 reds, 200 blues, and even one special point. I can't help myself. More damage. There's 25 more and 25 more on top of that. Also, we're going to get more HP regeneration per second. One more level that's maxed out. That will unlock new stuff. We also finished some kind of milestone. We finished a few milestones. So that means we can get 10% HP per second, and we need a new green resource. I just don't know where to find it. Oh, also there we go. We now have a 50% chance for double resource drops and 50% damage against bosses. We should probably also stack that up some more. I just spent my special points on exploder size, so that's fun. So I'm going to jump back up to the next prestige level because we'll get a lot more resources here, and I think we're more than strong enough to handle this. The exploders are a lot bigger now. For example, that took off basically half of the screen. We've also got the next boss coming in already. We'll take a touch out of it to see how that does. Oh, we're absolutely destroying this thing. That's good to know. We'll move on to the next prestige shortly. Okay, that one's dead. That was 2250 plus a purple point. With the purple point, we can get 50% attack size, which is absolutely insane at this point. Unlock the crypto tab. Okay, I feel like we might as well do that because that's clearly going to be something for us. Ah, I see. We deposit and that will slowly minus crypto. So we'll put $2,000 into that and let that run for a while. Then we're going to get right back to work on the next prestige level. We're also getting different shapes here. There's like a oval type thing. It looks like a pill, so we'll just go with their pills. I feel like I'm going to like this level. Every time we hit stuff, we're losing massive amounts of HP, but we're regenerating it so quickly, I'm not sure it matters. Okay, we are running out of HP fairly quickly, so hopefully this is going to pay out for us. 3,000 in short order. I will take that easy. We're going to add a bunch of damage. 50% to undamaged enemies. That'll help us chew through all these morons extra quick. Well, we found the next boss. As soon as we touched it, we died, but we got an easy 2,500. I'm so full of dopamine right now, I'm not even sure I need coffee. So we quickly saved up 8,000 points. That didn't take long at all. I think we're going to give ourselves more crypto because I think this is really just going to help our cause. So in 25 minutes, it's going to turn these all into the green stuff. And that's good because it's already paying us. We can get 300 max health because of that. I've gone back to Prestige 3. So we're back one level just so I can really just sit here endlessly and farm a whole bunch of squares. I suppose we're long overdue for this one. Plus 5% damage for the idiots in the area, plus is going to be boss damage, and then we can get massive more damage against bosses, but it's very expensive. Because I've destroyed 8,000 red enemies, I get 12,000 points. One thing we're also overdue on is pickup range, so we're going to increase that. 100% spawn rate, we're going to buy a few levels of that. I guess a little bit of critical hit chance also can't hurt. 1 in 5 is now going to be a crit. And we'll make our exploders even bigger. Exploders are at max level. We also... Okay, I was wondering where more blues were hiding. I just needed to finish off that one. Restore plus 8 health on enemy kill. Yes, that was as far as that one went. Back to the grind. There should be more enemies spawning, so we'll get more points quicker than ever. I sort of accidentally defeated the boss, probably due to explosions, but that was just barely. But since we have another point, 100% attack size is definitely going to help. 10% chance to automatically collect drops. When they do drop, that's a big one. And we can also have a chance to start dropping yellow things. Toughness is clearly going to be an issue at this point, so we're going to get 300 max health and 300 max health again, and a whole bunch more armor. Let's also do more damage to undamaged enemies, and we're going to make our pulse bolts stronger. I'm going to try the newest prestige where we're getting 5-sided shapes. Can't remember what they're called off the top of my head, but we're going to start killing those. Hopefully resources here are rich. We should be regenerating HP at an absolutely astounding rate. And it definitely seems like we are, so we just gotta keep on murdering everything, and hopefully we're getting tons of resources. We definitely are. We got 5,400 in no time at all. Starting to get some yellow bits spawning as well. Okay, I'm also gonna get 25% damage to enemies below 50% HP because that's cheap, and we're still gonna do the first strike thing again. That unlocked something over here, plus 100% damage to undamaged enemies. That's 10,000, so we're gonna save up for that, not that we need much. And a very cheap plus 5 armor, we're gonna take 1 level of that for now. We did get some yellow points, I just haven't unlocked what to spend them on yet. There we go, 10,000 points, 100% damage to undamaged enemies. We're also going to spend some of our crypto points, restore 10 health when hitting an enemy. That's a big one. And then with the rest of our money for now, we're going to add some armor, especially here with the blue points that we seem to have a lot of suddenly. Tons of armor against bosses, and just more regular armor to help keep us alive. And then it's right back to the grind. The explosions are getting big, we're doing tons of damage to undamaged enemies. And that works especially good against the bombs, because if we can manage to set up the bombs in one hit, they take out everything. And we can even strategize a little bit, let the bomb get right into the middle of the busy area, and kablamo. And here we got several bombs going towards the boss. I think we can actually use these to hurt the boss without having to take boss damage ourselves. Yeah, that did big damage to the boss. We died shortly thereafter, but not before making 7,800. And we get 16,000 as a reward for Red Destroyer and 300 blues. And let's increase our critical hit chance, and then we're also going to increase 25% damage to bolts. I guess another 300 max health would probably also be to our benefit. The more health we have, the more we're going to regenerate because it's a simple percentage. Okay, we made it to the boss with full health still. We're going to take a little bite out of the boss to see how that does. Yeah, we hurt him, and then my HP regenerates almost instantly. We're going to hit him with the bomb. We're going to let this next bomb get nice and close and blow that up there. Alright, suddenly we're making even this boss look quite easy. He's dead, 8,375 and 1. And that was without 100% extra damage to bosses, which we will get now. Also another 100% attack size. That's getting big. Had to use my special purple points for that. The rest of the money can just go into armor for now. Prestige 6 is obviously a lot tougher because these things are resisting my damage quite bigly. I'm assuming they are dropping lots of resources though, so we'll see at the end of this run. Well, that was a really quick run for 3,000, so it's probably worth it to hang out here. Since the critical hit chance is at 40%, we're going to add 50% to the critical damage. More max HP will help keep us alive. Then with our remaining points, I might need to do a crypto investment because we're running low here. The yellow points are good for upgrade speed, so I spend those here, and then our rate of transaction goes quicker. Since our crypto mine works at such high speed now, we're going to put another $9,000 into here, and it's going to chew through that fast. I'm also going to put another 18,000 into the crypto mine because that's really paying out for us. That's a huge amount of damage. So now instead of struggling to kill most of these, we're almost one-shotting the big ones. So because there is still something wrong with me, I decided it would be a good idea to save up 126,000 bits. Yeah, I don't really know either. Luckily, while we were doing that, my Bitcoin thing is done, so there's plus 100, plus 100, 200 damage. It kind of annoys me that we didn't get this maxed out though. So what we're going to do is put a little bit more money into the crypto mine. What's another 10 grand? Oh, I also found so many yellow things that I might as well upgrade this 3 times, 320 per second. So that'll really only take a couple seconds to finish now. So we can actually just sit here and wait for this upgrade now. We'll get plus 100 more damage. And that'll max that out, so then it goes down there. 1% damage every second during this session, which is actually kind of insane. Then we're going to buy a little bit more max health. That's now maxed out. We can even buy plus 4,000 max health. We need a few more crypto points for that, but luckily I know how to get those. Let's also increase our critical hit chance twice. That leaves us with $50,000. We've already got enough for an extra 4,000 max HP, so we're going to try and do that 2 more times just to be sure we have enough. There's also restore 2% max HP per second, so I'm also going to buy that. That would be really stupid not to. Then I'm going to buy that again because that's double the HP per second. So now I just finish this off for 8,000 more max HP and we'll really be cruising. Then let's get 100% more damage to bosses times 2, and then 100% damage to undamaged enemies times 2 as well. So then we'll take blood injection number 1, and very soon blood injection number 2. That added 8,000 max HP. This one is also stupid. Gain 1 max health permanently when defeating an enemy. Yes. Also increase max health permanently gained to plus 3 when enemy killed, so we get 3 health per enemy killed. Plus 50,000 max health suddenly. That's so dumb. And we can afford it a few times because I've been grinding a while. Now it is picking up the parts that are left behind. Also, our health really isn't even moving at all. The little bit of damage we take is instantly put back on. Well, the bosses decided to show up. This was as far as we could possibly survive before the $100,000 in upgrades. So now we'll go ahead and one-shot the boss. And that's a perfect spot to leave it. We'll take it off right here next time.